before, they can do it again. They played them back in February at the Park and Challenger Championship. It did go pretty one-sided for the GamerLegion, though it was 2 maps, and the second one did go overtime, and we're playing it again, Cole. It's Inferno as the second map here. What do you think, more OT?
Yeah, I don't see why not there. It seems to be a bit of a specialty for us. So, and on this B stream so far, we've seen a decent amount of it today. We'll see if that continues here with the history of these 2 rosters, but looking forward to getting things situated here on Mirage. We'll see what GamerLegion have prepared here with Center's map selection. You know, both these squads here headed into this one for the opening stages, looking to maybe switch it up with this Mirage pick out of the Center side, and I can understand the vision that they're going for here.
Yeah, this is the swap round, right? Nuke was the pick for Centers last time. Mirage was the decider. Didn't get to the decider, so why not change it and see if this works a little bit better? We've got early aggression from GamerLegion taking control here at the ramp. They've got a ton of information right off the rip, but the question is, can they react in time? Rez, not been revealed just yet. Now he's dealt with, and it's a commanding control of the B site. Snacks to follow. 3 players gone. The bomb being planted, and tough roads for PR and Hypex to get back into this round.
That's how you take some space right there, jumping out the window and avoiding the HE damage, and they immediately take that E-box control. That's a win condition here for this pistol, and they capture it with ease. Hypex and PR, they're going to be interested in even making it out of the market. They're going to look to double up for now, but they got to get a move on here. There is no kit present. A little bit of sound cues made from Hypex. He knocks out the first headshot, but again, speed is of the utmost importance, and slowing things down, you're not going to do him any favors here. Still can't find up any extra targets just yet, and it's going to be Kisserek to close things down quickly here. Center's going to hop on the board there first, and it's that active piece here, starting it off with a 4K.
Yeah, very nicely done for Kisserek. This up-tempo play, maybe catching GamerLegion off guard. We'll expect to see some more of it as well, see if they can keep them off balance. You want to go for an info play? Well, all the information in the world doesn't matter if we've already taken the other bomb site. Just a little bit too late. Ooh, and we're starting the volume early here, Cole. We're starting the noise early. We're going to be getting the energy going for Centers. I like to see that.
Yeah, I saw them in the pregame. They're really trying to hype things up in the early stages, and you can tell that's going to be a big goal. I mean, again, this is new, somewhat familiar experience and kind of presence for these players on Center. I mean, there's so much to gain in making the most of this opportunity and getting prepared for the major right around the corner. So it's going to be of the utmost importance to bring that energy here on land for an event as big as this for this Centers team in particular.
Now, one of the most interesting things, we should have a bit of time in this round, we'll see if it gets interesting, from the GamerLegion run at Fort Worth was Snacks having some crazy individual maps, dragging games into overtime by force of will alone, doing it against Vitality as well on that overpass. He really seemed to be rolling back the years just as an individual. There was even a round where he made them drop him the Hero AK, and then he wound up getting a triple entry on the A side of Inferno with it. So look at Snacks, keep an eye on him for the individual form. I'm really excited to see if it's continued over. Not gonna do anything in this round, it seems, unless that Deagle comes to bear, Cole, because this one looks clean.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's kind of the details with Snacks now in this GamerLegion roster. It does kind of free up some more opportunities. If you're talking about an IGL, maybe a couple different positions that you'd like to play, you want to be involved in the map, and you want to be able to call things out on the CT side especially. And so he's given a lot of freedom to himself essentially here and is playing very active roles there. It's going to allow him to at least be in the running for duels a lot more often than in some of his previous rosters there. You think of like the G2 days, and you know, things are going to just be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more opportunities for Snacks to make things work on this GamerLegion roster with those positions. So it might be a little indicator here of what's to come, right? And if Snacks can keep hitting hard like he was doing over in Fort Worth, that's going to be a huge detail.
It would be. It would be. You don't think he was telling mobs to drop him an AK back in the day?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it was quite the Hooksy level of I don't need to kill anybody because I've got Nico and Monacy on my team, but
yeah,
you know.
He wasn't telling them to drop them guns. That's fair. Towson, meanwhile, just willing to help out. We got a stack over towards B. So the playing a little bit of the gamble game with the limited guns here for GamerLegion, understandably so. A couple smokes as well to try and provide a little fog of war, maybe hide the fact that there's 4 players stacked up here, but for the moment, Sinners have slowed things down a bit. They've already got firm control of middle, just 30 seconds into the round, so it's not too slow, but they have yet to kick the anthill. It seems like they're taking their time with this.
Same stack that they tried in the last round. They just don't have the same firepower or HEs. They had an interesting idea to try and nade stack underpass last round. Didn't quite land for as much damage as they were hoping for. But this time around, it might not be through connector. It might actually be in towards this stacked bomb site. And crucially, you got a couple of players here that are well equipped. On the boost right now is Towson. He's got a kit, a smoke. Could be interesting there on the ninja box.
Is this a snack special? Just try and distract, make them think they cleared out the stack, and then you've got a diffuser who's going to hold his fire the whole time? We're going to find out, Cole. They're going for it. There's Sue's kill. All right, we're starting early. Rez tries to dodge the bullets. Can't dance his way out of this one. But here comes the contact. And oh, trigger discipline. He's been revealed. Towson still gets the kill. But it's all for naught. A moment there where electricity sparkled through the round, but quickly diffused.
Nice usage of the Zeus right there, right underneath the window, but not as much as they were hoping for off that stack. Would have been nice, especially if Snacks could have found that early lurking presence there, taking care of that. But Rez lifts off with that first pick. It's really hard to trade that position out, but no one else able to get really involved in that initial hold. And you know, with the lesser weaponry, you'll take what you can get. A little bit of economic damage here. The shots are already fired. Early duels being taken towards the top of mid right now. And again, same old for Sinners. Work a little bit of this mid control. Trying to identify some space here. Take control. It's a monster nade on a B-stick though early. Takes him down below half. So some nice placement on that. Need a refresh on that window smoke if they want a boost. That's going to come through at the hands of Moto. Thinking about making that move a little bit later. And they can get themselves in some really gimmicky positions early on. There's that boost. Facilitated for the MAC-10. And there's a lot of players waiting around in connector for this attack.
This is a problem, though. No one's got responsibility for jungle just yet. Eventually, they're going to have to consider this presence in the window. They've completely conceded it for now. And Snacks, lackadaisical, gets away with it. Good damage. Now he's got the confirmation. Molotov to burn out Stressor. He's going to live, at least for the moment, in a safe corner. So for all this control now, the Sinners are under siege, and there's weaponry on the other side, so this is no easy feat. Apex looked like he was going to walk into a crosshair for a moment, but instead slips back, reformats, and they're going to completely concede this control, unless...
Yeah, just opening up that A-bomb site makes things a lot simpler for this center side, and gotta make a move here quickly in towards this A-bomb site. Op at the ready to cover off Hypex if he peeks into it. Moto gets off the line, gets his util out just in time. Snacks still on the scene here, looking to light things up, but it's a quick trade, only a 1-for-1, and this A side is claimed. Only 10 seconds left here. They gotta get that plant down immediately. Avoid that smoke spam. Headshot onto Hypex that slows him down, but they do get those numbers punched in. Unable to deny for Towson, and a 3v3 ahead of Sinners to try and close this one out.
We're gonna get a definite retake, though. And the ops are both in the hands of low players, so this one could get very testy indeed. Oh, that Molotov makes things difficult. They need a kill over it realistically to get back into this round. And with Rez dropping, GamerLegion leave it all on the back of Towson. Has the kit, has the time, knows where one player is, but he's running out of seconds here on this clock and doesn't know the confirmed position of Kisarek. Has a pretty good idea. Will take the duel and lose it. An ace on the other side. Kisarek stacking up the multi-kills early.
I mean, he's just a bailout option too right there. He finds himself an opening on that A site when you saw GamerLegion doing a great job of controlling connector, dealing with that presence in window. There didn't seem to be a lot of good moves until that A site slowly gets opened up, and Kisarek doesn't stop right there. He goes for all 5 afterwards. Sinners could have met a brick wall there instead. They get a quick closeout here and a big lifeline provided by Kisarek. He started it off with a 4K on the pistol as well. It's already up to 10-1 right now. Next, trying to detail out the game plan here.
Crazy that those
back on track.
10 kills came in 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Right, he's got a 4K, an ace, and then 1 picked up. I mean, there's only been 4 rounds. But it's still crazy.
That's a great start right there for, again, a piece that is willing to get active on those extremities here. We saw it on the pistol, the way that he was able to create so much space and continue to take those duels. And if you got a guy that's willing to make opening moves for your team like that, who's already 10-1 to start off his campaign here for IEM Atlanta, that is exactly what you're hoping for Sinners, to shake off any of those land jitters that you're going to have here at this event.
What's the scheme here with the 1 hero rifle from Towson with the investment here? It seems like they're trying to play a little bit of a shell game. They really like this layering of the stack. And unfortunately for them, it's been called out. B-site taken all but for free. Maybe Rez gets a pot shot in, but instead he takes the dink back the other way and decides, you know what, actually I want to get out of here. I've got armor. That's worth saving. The bomb will go down, and there's really nothing that GamerLegion can do about this. It seems like they just want to press the do-over button. Maybe give it a look into the next round. Although, if there was going to be one gun that you should save and not give too much of a look in, it would be the M4. So Towson wisely starts to back away.
They don't want to give that one up there. I mean, that's the scheme, is to try and stack something up, and if things don't go right, save. But they're still like staying pretty close and going for a hunt. So they're not going to completely give up on this one. Maybe Rez can create some new solutions, though, if they just find the kills. In fact, they're doing quite a bit of damage here to back it up. 3 frags already found. Looking for even more. Shock going to have to give him the duel. And there's going to be a lot of rifles to scoop up here. Motor going to try and play protection, but the bomb blows him up instead. All 5 drop. Rifles galore in market. Going on a little shopping spree.
That's not a bad result from a round that looked to be a complete wash. Get away with it with a clean sweep of the enemy's finances. And a nice little shopping spree of your own here, Cole. Call that bargain bin. Only 1 AK comes out of it, but they put it in the hands of PR, who we know likes himself some haircuts. Likes to give out those headshots. So give him an AK, and things could get interesting.
This sort of start Sinners need here. You can see that they're going for a lot of decisive strikes right now. This is another example of it. Quick A play here called out. Flashbang perfectly placed. Hypex is in trouble. Just sequencing these calls one after another here. Hypex can't really get much action from the CT angle, and already stressing finding an opening pick here. Hypex at least able to stretch out for another frag, but still trading things out in a positive direction. Trying to jump up. He's going to burn to the flames. Shock drops him. And Rez and Towson in no position right now to try and pull this retake off. 2v4. Shut out. Outside looking in here. Op going to be scooped up for Rez. That might be an early indicator that this is a back away instead of going all in.
Sinners living up to their names, man, because right now this is shock and awe. GamerLegion are massively on the back foot, massively under pressure early on in these rounds. They're losing space. They're conceding real estate off the bat. And then when they're finally maybe trying to show something a little bit more dynamic, one of these faster plays comes in, it just catches them completely unawares. I mean, credit on to the Sinners side. They've clearly done some preparation, some homework. They seem to have a really good feel for where GamerLegion want to put the pressure, and they're doing a great job of neutralizing it. Op lives at least. Rez has something to bring forward, but this is getting dire early on, and they really need to find some solutions over on the GamerLegion side if they're going to make them competitive.
One of my favorite things about casting Sinners back when they were still fully checked, they had Oscar on the team, obviously, at one point there, and you had Shock and Oscar whenever they were in like a 2v3 or 2v4, and they win it. That was always a fun little call out there.
Shock and Oscar.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah,
I'm
like
with you. Newly retired, of course. Oscar, one of those guys who was always just such a joy to watch when he was in the server. Maybe didn't quite reach the heights he could have at times. He mentioned it in his retirement, feeling like at times he made some bad decisions, maybe self-sabotaged a little bit from what he could have been. But one of the most entertaining oppers to watch in Counter-Strike for a very long time.
We always put on a show there, for sure.
Most entertaining interview of COVID as well. Always had his birds just chirping away in the background.
I didn't know he had birds. That's hilarious.
Pretty sure that was
Did you ever figure out what type of birds?
Let's see if I remember. I feel like they were just like little budgie songbird type thing.
Yeah.
But we'll have to ask him if we ever cross paths.
Volley placement there. Beastic gonna take away at PR here, force him out of that ladder in position, and then almost finds an HE to chase him down as well. Just targeting PR here in this position. The workout through middle, though, is successful somewhat. Beastic looking to make sure to deny more of that access here as Moto posts up on his op here. Got an adjustment that he's going to need to land. He gets caught by surprise. Snax' activity continuing to punish as they just run away from middle. They've already got their wins in the round here. Now it's just Shock left with the bomb down on top of mid in 20 seconds. This might be finally an opportunity for GamerLegion to get on the board.
Surely.
And look to strike.
Purely from a geography perspective here, he does not have the time to cover enough ground to make this a round. So Shock gonna have to concede. And that's nicely done as well. If they can keep these three alive, right? The two upgraded AKs, the AWP on Hypex. Hypex, we haven't talked about him too much yet. He hasn't given us reason to, but this is somebody that they're really hoping they can rely on. Has been a little inconsistent at times in the GamerLegion jersey, but the highs are really high, and we did get a dose of those at the Fort Worth event. He was really starting to flourish, having some beastly rounds against some strong teams. And I'm curious to see if we can get more of that Hypex, right? Because I think if we get more of that reliable Hypex on the AWP, I know that's a priority for GamerLegion. I think that elevates them as a team substantially. This round's obviously not live. We got typing. We got people in spawn. We got a round reset. We got a match medic.
Yeah, I mean, as a young opper for Hypex, the one thing he's going to need to get a grasp on, I think, to get more of those heights is a little bit more creativity with how he plays the op. It's very difficult here to make things work as a young opper who's kind of fresh into the tier 1 space. You're going to be kind of jolted by some of the level of utility, the firepower that you're playing up against, but you got to come up with moves around that. You know, something that players like Monacy are able to do really well. Just develop so many different schemes to deny utility, to deny flashes and smokes, things like that, playing these hard to deal with positions because he has the aim and accuracy to make moves like that, but just
whatever it was,
missing detail part of his game that I think I would like to see.
Quick solution here. Admin's got that sorted out. Oh, wait.
Get back.
We were back live. I hear typing. Just as I'm praising the admins, they fake me out. No. Surely. They wouldn't do that to us. They would do that to us, Cole. They would do that to us. It does feel like we'll go back into our Hypex conversation.
Yeah.
It feels like we've had this this curve with oppers in general. Really since CS2 came in, where opping got a little bit more difficult, where you have these dynamic, young, exciting oppers come in, give us that flash, make us so excited, leave us wanting more, and then start to get countered really heavy and fall off an absolute cliff. You know, it's we're seeing it a little bit with Molodoi right now, the consistency going. We've seen it with Ultimate. We've seen it with a lot of players where it just speaks to how difficult opping is at this level of competition now, with the preparation that opponents do, with the amount that they're looking into you, every move you make, every breath you take. They're demo watching you, man.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is the case. It's one of the most difficult things to deal with. I've been playing a lot of matches and pugs and stuff, and I don't really feel like the kind of movement has changed to opping all that much either. Like maybe a little bit easier, but that didn't feel like it was gonna be as big of a adjustment as I initially thought it was gonna be for oppers holding angles and things like that. But
this feels like every update in Counter-Strike, we go, oh my god, this is going to totally shift everything. The game. It's one of two ways. Like we either say this is going to change everything, and then it changes nothing, or we say, yeah, I don't think that's going to matter. It's like a footnote and a patch note, and then it turns out to radically shift the meta for 6 months.
Yeah.
There's no in-between, man.
Yeah, I was big on board of the reload update, really changing things quite a bit, and haven't noticed a lot. There was
we don't all spam our teammates like you, Cole.
The first week I got caught with a USP reload where I shot one bullet on overpass and then reloaded, and then I ran out of ammo on A site. But that's the worst of it, and we got over that pretty fast.
Important analysis here. It turns out that Moto is a pillow gamer. He's got the pillow behind him. That is a popular choice at times for a lot of players. I know Jane always with the pillow coming off of the shuttle. I know some Pius always rocking the pillow. Seems like a popular move here. What's your opinion on
Is Shiro the one that brings the hotel pillow everywhere?
I think he might. There's a lot of them. It's gotten popular, man. You gotta get that extra lumbar support.
I used to play with like a pillow while I was sitting in a wood chair that I just like took from my kitchen table, but outside of that, like I guess I don't have back problems, which is nice. Not yet, at least. Maybe that's the big detail.
I'm noticing a trend now as I was listing out players I know that bring pillows. Is it an opera thing, do you think?
You gotta lean in a little bit more, maybe.
Gotta be closer to the scope. Get your eye to the monitor.
Yeah, that could be it. I'll give it a try one day and see if I get any boosts. Maybe that's a hidden method.
Hidden technique here. Gives you +5 no scope ability. I see headsets on, so I'm optimistic. But I don't see hands on keyboard, so I'm less optimistic here.
Oh, there we go. Just attack.
Okay. Timeout. Attack after the long tech. Always a strong move here. So you can actually talk to your team, remind them what the game plan was at this point. Sinners recognizing that they have the opportunity to steal the momentum back from GamerLegion and take this from being an already great start to Mirage to making it a dominant one. So there's a prime opportunity if they can reset GamerLegion, if they can snatch any of that speed that they were getting going here and go right back to their winning ways.
I like this idea coming through from Sinners, and no question that this is a huge pivot point, whether or not GamerLegion can get back into this game. So people are going to call that out there and try and get them back to winning ways here. This is kind of the first hurdle that they've hit, though. A little bit of late mid-read control, if you all are recalling, is how GamerLegion got that first round on the board and got themselves rolling here on the CT side.
A cheeky Snacks late pop-up over the railing. Guy, he's always the last place you expect.
Still to this day. Still got it. That element of surprise is always a key factor here. And again, still just trying to work some control towards middle.
What if they realize he's gotten out this far based on the timing of the Molotov? Now they certainly have to be aware of the possibility. So Rez contending with the mid control. The last element here is Snacks fades back away to anticipate a potential pop-up into the window. Everyone's playing with the time a little bit more here, wondering what the other side is cooking up after that pause. Haven't really seen anyone tip their hand just yet. Moto set up way back in spawn with a late smoke coming through. Now it seems like we might get a little bit more of the indication from Sinners about what they want to do. Smoke's up. Take this control, starve the information, but they're just leaving Shock behind it. Everybody else is going to group for the A hit.
So a lot of utility left on the CT side here. There's that move coming through and a quick tap out from Rez. That's a nice headshot to lift things off. And because Snacks has cleared out middle, they're so prepared for this A-play. PR with the smoke blown open, going to take two here. They know where the last two are as well. Snacks going down a little bit lower than he'd like. But the flanks and the rotates are already coming involved here. Everyone at the ready for this A-hold. Flashbang in towards CT to try and void them off. And control here towards connector. Moto gonna win another fight. Maybe a chance for a bomb plant now, but it's denied through the box there from Ipex. Able to shut that down and finish the job as well. And GamerLegion able to get back-to-back rounds here.
Really nice little cap put on that round from Hypex. It looked like it was getting away from them, but the idea in general from GamerLegion, so good, right? Anticipating what Sinners were trying to do, sending Rez in to confirm the presence in middle. He gets the one kill. He realizes there's not a lot of presence behind it. Then we see the nade pop in towards ramp. Just a really nice, quick react to the information that was presented to them. Well done from GamerLegion.
Oh goodness, that's a nasty headshot right there. PR sideline missed op shot from Ipex as well. Just scoop up the rifle. At this point, not a big need to rush things. They don't want to give a second opportunity to Ipex to level the playing field. I think that's a wise decision. Pick up a smoke off the back of PR being dismissed.
That's occurring to me now. That was Kisrick's first kill since round 4, right? After he got the ace. He started off really hot with the multi-kills and hasn't really been able to contribute since, so Be nice if they get him going again. Sustained spray eventually gets Rez the kill, and Hypex goes for a bold follow-up, gets away with it, but a Glock kill out the Palace, and suddenly Beastic has space and a rifle to go with it. This is getting dangerous now. GamerLegion need to get this back under control. Rez is so very low. He can't make the first move. He can't make the second move. Might not even want to make the third move. But there's only so many moves you can do, and with that kill from Beastic, now you're in so much trouble. Rez is basically a ghost. Hypex is going to have to try and do hero work now with the rifle, otherwise an eco gets away from them. This is disaster. Beastic bringing the spam bringing him so low, actually through the box back the other way, so Beastic has to try and relocate, get some more wood between him and his opponents. And if they're going to let him slip back away, this could work out well, but Hypex knows he needs to make the move. Sweeps a player off, can't do the second, and with Rez on no HP, does he really brave this stick? He's thinking about it. He's going to go for it. The smoke is up. He's going to try and tap that bomb, but one bullet will do him in, and it'll be from the barrel of the Glock. Sinners with absolute robbery of a round.
Oh boy, right there. They're going to make sure to let that be known. Their instant timeout called by GamerLegion. Not happy with that one. You saw Rez's face afterwards. Face of frustration. Just one early shot coming through out of that deagle already disrupts the CT side, and so much damage done out of those Glocks afterwards. 1.3v4 controlled by GamerLegion quickly goes awry with the space taken towards A. And that is a tough loss for GamerLegion to take just when the wind is in their sails. That was their pathway back to trying to even up the half. Shut down by a burst of energy.
Right back out of you. Right? That is the most frustrating kind of round. It's not just an eco. It's an eco where you had the advantage. There are like 5 different reasons you should never lose that round, and you get entryed by a Glock swinging out Palace. Oh my goodness. But talk about, it's one thing we learned about Sinners very early on in this map is if you give them anything, they are going to seize the momentum. Snacks is going to try and deny it early. They're not anticipating him here around the smoke. Oh, this is such a Snacks play here. He's just on the edge of it. There's no flash to pop him through, though. His teammates trying to come back to support, but needs to set up the incendiary beforehand. And so it's Snacks on an island. He's isolated. He doesn't have that support. He doesn't have that help, and so he dies for free. Trying to go bold instead. He goes nowhere and leaves his team a man down, though Hypex will get it back.
Able to even things out there. Beastic looking for a time and maybe to work through connector. Instead gets cut off right as that smoke blooms. So instant equalizer. Both the operas able to strike. Gonna try and boost up here in towards window again. Oh, and that's PR with the sound cue. Oh, a little bit messy there. That could pay a big price here. Rez and PR both gonna collapse here in unison. And Moto, the one that starts things off, is now gonna have to finish.
He's going out
here. Has a chance towards B. There's only a close player in underpass right now. A position on that catwalk to try and deny the cross here. So Moto slowing things down. He's going to get cut off by Rez before he can do anything else. And GamerLegion capitalizing on some missed movement right there. Creating some chaos that Sinners couldn't handle. Oh, wow.
Oh, what a spot. Just a little shadow to tip him off and a nice adjustment off of the shadow. Well done from Hypex. Had a bit of a slower start, but he's up to 7-7 now, so he's starting to cook. And that is exactly what GamerLegion want to see if they're going to make a game of this. Moto boosted up. Trying to peer over the smokes. We've seen Snacks get very aggressive. It's Rez this time, but the shot goes wide, and so Rez gets away with it. Maybe should have been punished there, but he will thank his lucky stars that he lives to see another second of this round.
Which whizzes right by. No success off the mid boost here for Moto. They're going to move around the map here, but again, it's really good information here from GamerLegion. Get stuck in with a lot less util this time around to try and hold off this A side. It's going to come down to whether or not PR can deliver on the multi-kills. Again, another situation here where there's not a lot of help on the scene. I think a smart decision for PR to play a little bit less committal. Diving back in towards CT. More willing to give over that bomb site here as the execute comes his way. Gonna get a small window of opportunity. Just gonna toss in that HE. Maybe look to play a retake. That's a monster HE though. A lot of damage done early.
That's good for the statistics.
Oh.
Shock, though, with the entry. We've seen these get away from GamerLegion before. Still, PR hanging on for a moment. There's still danger in this, but only 30 seconds with which to do it. They don't expect B-Stick to be in towards the jungle. An assassination with the Tech-9 now leaves this into even Stevens on the numbers. But the time is the pressure, and Rez wisely adjusts. Slows it down to go back and catch B-Stick and leave Moto alone. Bomb will go down. No one's close enough to deny this just yet. But Moto needs to make an aggressive move, and he knows it. Leaves himself completely exposed to jungle, just wide open, and Rez will capitalize.
So many smart repositions from Rez, not to mention the 2 kills he finds through the smoke. He denies the bomb plant as well. So just reading in exactly what his opposition's going to do in that 2v2 makes the job easy for Towson close by. Simplifies the solution. A nice burst out of the AK from Shock. But there's Rez denying that smoke spam and then claiming 2 kills, both of which on Sinners did not get to see where Rez was coming from, did not know what hit him. And there goes a 4th round here. He can close the distance a little bit more with one more scrappy purchase. Sinners may do with a lot less already. See if they can try and replicate it. Maybe a little Halls pop here. 3 players early in that position. I think that Shock was going to throw utility. He doesn't have any. So this one going to be mostly dry.
True tip. First tip. Setting up your execute. Have utility. Key detail there. Kisserek, key detail, he's gone. And again, just a reminder, after that hot start has gone whisper quiet since 1 kill since round 4. Moto, an opener. May not require Kisserek at all. Looking for another one. Good damage done, but Rez, when does he strike? They don't expect him here. Now he's been realized he has control of the bomb. Trying to dance among the bullets. Deal with the player potentially coming out ramp. Well, he waits for the reinforcements. Snapping that crosshair back and forth, and eventually he's picked apart, but that allows Hypex to get back on the angle, and now it falls to Shock, who wants to buy time for B-Stick to activate. They need every one of these seconds. B-Stick, he's not being watched. If he gets through the murder hole, no, Hypex goes check it. Gun barrel shown right in the headshot. B-Stick once again disrupts this. The savvy vet, the wily coyote that he is, plucks a Roadrunner. And now Towson trying to bring back this 1v2. 25 seconds, expects the rotation from B-Stick, but he knows he's got 2 to contend with, so he wants to play his angles. He wants to isolate these fights. He wants to keep himself safe, but that flash is just too much to deal with, and so B-Stick will close. The captain of the squad shuts this down and sends us to the half. And meanwhile, on the other side, Snacks just calmly sipping on whatever he's got in that cup, having himself a good time. No muss, no fuss for the captain of GamerLegion. Let them use all their energy in the first half of map number 1. Snacks likes to have the last laugh here.
Level-headed here. Got to prepare the game plan here for this second half. Get back into the running. Gonna start it off with an A play here. Dual Beretta's on the balcony close by. Molly maybe can disrupt here. Instantly forces stressing off the angle. He's gonna look to play off the flashes. Look at how much this T-side is blinded up by the util, but nothing out of those dualies and only one out of Kissarak. They are closing the distance quickly on this A site. And 3 players gonna quickly fall here. Gonna have to rely on a flank. B-Stick is quick on the draw at the very least. PR gonna walk into the angle, gives it a nice clear here. Goes for the duel, he's gonna win it. And Shock all alone here. Forced to back away slowly but surely into the hands of Snacks. And that is what he was waiting for in this second half. A liftoff in the pistol.
Now we got a ball game on our hands. And how quickly we will see whether the lead will erode. We'll have to see what Sinners do to try and retake some of that momentum, because I don't know that they want this to get back to being a tied ball game. We can take a moment. Praise Rez. He's having himself a nice one. It's strong presence in towards middle off of that catwalk. He was kind of all over at times in that first half, being wherever they needed him to be. Stacks up to 17 and 8 at the moment. So we see if he can keep that performance up here in the second half. It's a full eco. Center's not going to be showing us any major surprises other than a lot of players grouped around mid here, Cole.
Yeah, don't mind that idea. Look for a collapse. Trying to isolate maybe a lurking presence, and you will have that opportunity with Snacks solo. 5 USPs versus 1 Galil. Do like the odds for the CT side, but also Snacks playing a little bit reserved here, given that he's on an island. But yeah, as you mentioned, you know, Rez just a very versatile player, and he was all over the map here for helping out GamerLegion in a lot of those 1 rounds that they were able to claim to. Snack's gonna get that opportunity to spray him down, only good for a single. They make it tricky there. I think the missed movement in the round window really threw him off, and maybe worked out better for Sinners than they would have thought, but all's well there. They're gonna take that A-bomb set as a reaction here. 1 rifle scooped up here for the CT side.
The question is, do you want to be 1 foot out the door for Moto to keep that rifle alive? The answer, no. He's gonna try and make something happen with it. Quick demolition from Towson, who continues to press his foot forward in towards CT. Maybe they get surprised. They do indeed. Okay, hold on. Suddenly, this is a lot more damage. I don't think they're really in position to do anything about this round. No armor, no kit, make sure of that. But GamerLegion went from a walk in the park to suddenly trying to limit the casualties, and that is never a position you want to be in early in a half.
Not a bad way to lose here. Shock and Moto saving an AK and a Galil. Not all that bad here for no investment. Gonna help bolster the utility here for the next round. Give them some more opportunities to strike here in the 3rd round of the half. GamerLegion pulling things back here. Slowly but surely.
Oh, hits it off. Check the in-ears.
They're all
fix the hair.
Still there?
Good routine. Hair's still there. Hasn't fallen off yet. Give it like a decade, Hypex. Comes for us all.
It's been stressful, but yeah, it's still there. Looking nice. See if it gets any more stressful here now that the guns are out immediately. And as you can see, you know, saved rifle there allows for Moto to go straight into an op, full belt to utility, give Kissarak the Galil. This is, again, an off-spawn call coming through, this time from GamerLegion. A play coming through early. Moto on the scene. Flashes work out well, but only a tag out of the AWP here. HE gonna finish the job. 4 players close by to defend the site. Going off the flashbang here. All trying to collapse. And there's a multi from B-Stick provided. As Hypex trying to enter in as well. Find something of note. PR gonna look to claim some space as well. Bombs down in the middle of the site. That's gonna make things tricky here, but Moto's down decently low. So still an opportunity here for the T side to stabilize, and PR with a quick headshot like that is going to do the trick.
Substantial elimination right now. You're so much more limited in your control from Sinners. B-Stick watching from the sidelines thinking, guys, don't let this one slip. I put in the work. Let's get this over the line. Control the bomb is their best asset.
Oh!
But trying to watch that. They go high. PR lays Moto low. Thinking his eyes were locked on the C4, and he was correct indeed. Trying to get a little adventurous is Strasser and punished for it. This is a consistent trend we're now starting to see. I think GamerLegion are doing a lot better of a job of having awareness in these late round, mid-round scenarios where it's down to the 2v2s, down to the 3v3s of the potential angles that Sinners could be playing. We're seeing a few moments where Sinners just get completely off guard by where the fight's actually coming from.
Yeah, that's the experience speaking in a big way, right? I mean, that's what you expect. We saw it from Rez in that first half a lot of times, but he just made these small repositions in rounds that definitely caught Sinners by surprise and made the fights easy for himself. And that is another example of now PR being able to pick up the mantle here in the second half and do the same thing here. Another off-spawn A call here coming through from Snacks. Close up and personal is Kissarak, but he gets blasted. The AK, a lot better than that MP9 here, and it wins out the duel. Snacks lurking his way through connector, also creates some leverage. And Beast gonna get spammed through the smoke. This one looking like a non-starter on another gun round here. Now they're just trying to pick up the pieces here. Shock on an elevated angle. Doesn't see Snacks again. As sneaky as can be, just slips out of the round. While Shock is right around the corner. And now he can punish the op here potentially. Okay, he just got spotted. Moto a little bit safer to the surprise this time around here. Misses the first opportunity. Going to dive out the window. Not willing to take that duel, but is going to be willing to give Snack some control here. Gets blasted, though. And the AWP going to do a good job.
Loud in his headset. Thunder in his way. Dive out the window.
That's not a duel an Opera wants to take, so you definitely see why Moto's a little bit more willing to give over that ground. Take a different angle of approach.
We are tied up. This is a scenario we were wondering about. Sinners such a great first half, but now, how do they regain momentum? What are they going to show us here on this CT side? A lot more limited in the way that you can play with the pace, perhaps. And so a timeout gets taken here from Sinners, who know that they need to find some answers. Coach getting active in the microphone, trying to relay some solutions, come up with some ideas, because it's been a long time. Sinners have been able to get around.
Looking for some solutions here, but it's kind of hard to find the answer right now for Sinners because you're constantly getting hit by these A plays. Didn't have the best weaponry to handle it. You also had, a decent hold on one of those A executes, right? You had the right idea. You just didn't play the late round good. So there's different ways right now that Sinners are losing that they have to kind of figure out and find solutions for. And then, of course, this would be the perfect time now for GamerLegion to stay a step ahead and change up the pitch.
That coach
try and find Nuke Round.
Side. That's a very nice way to start it out. A little bit of a new angle on the mid-op shot. Give Moto a chance to get activated, but you lose two players elsewhere. Moto included in that math. And then suddenly things are getting dangerous. Stressor might be overlooked. Do they forget to dot the I's here? They do indeed, and a flashbang won't slow him down for long. Still, the trade is swift. Towson is low. This is dangerous. PR, though, shredding heads. It's going to make it a whole lot more comfortable for GamerLegion, and that's the PR aim we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, taking over in this T side is exactly what you want. We saw Rez pick up pieces in that first half for 4 rounds and so much impact coming through in that department here. Now you're being able to call upon PR in these late rounds to power you through some of these difficult situations. And another prime example of that triple entry, instant space creation in towards CT spawn. And Sinners don't even know what hit them before the round is over. And there's a man advantage that Sinners were able to capture. Immediately nullified. And there's a lead also nullified there. GamerLegion have pushed it past for their first lead here as Hypex missed an opportunity. Saw a sliver of Kissarak but can't complete the shot. How active do these two A players want to go right now? Because it would be a decent time to try and make a move. That's where Moto has a lot of responsibility in covering off this angle. Making sure that his players that are looking to control middle are staying safe right now. Looks like Moto might get another opportunity, this time coming through a little bit later in the round. They want to work a little bit of control towards middle and then pounce.
This smoke is going to distract them. It's going to keep these 3 players locked a little bit too long, right? And so you're going to need to adjust back. Although, as I say that, Kisrak actually seems to have the right idea. There, he's stuck in the tunnel. B-Stick wants to come back to support his teammate. Moto needs to hit this first shot. Here comes the utility over. Flashbang is good, but it doesn't matter. Moto still connects, and so he's going to give his team a chance back into this one. Utility limited for the CT side. They really would not like to allow this bomb to go down. And so playing around the edge of the smoke, B-Stick is going to make himself a nuisance, but PR high and above brings it back to the 2-on-2. Bomb goes down. That can't be denied, despite a spam attempt, which will somehow collect PR. How has this gotten to this point? Now it falls to Snacks in the clutch. Connects on the first. Deals with the Opera. Swings for the headshot, but it's the pistol instead to find an answer. And so the defuse will come the way of the Sinners. Far from comfortable, but a round win all the same.
Man, it looked like PR was going to do it again right there. Just didn't have the health to fight through that last duel. But so much impact out of his rifle once again. You can see he's not even too worried about it. I knew that he had given his team a great opportunity, at least a chance for Snacks to get that win going, but timeout immediately called here from GamerLegion. Now they're last chewed through as soon as things don't really go their way in that round. But again, coming down to the details right there, GamerLegion throwing a great flash, Moto connecting while blind onto Hypex, making sure to take care of business early. And there is that quick transition coming through from the rest of the Sinners to make sure that PR doesn't do as much as he has been on some of these plays towards A, but that is a great kickoff to a defense. Exactly what you're hoping for out of your Opper. And Moto able to be on the money this time around.
Some shine to show towards the coaches. We got Beefle here for Sinners. I'm not very familiar with Beefle. New for the beginning of this year, beginning of last year. Working with the organization. Then IMD on the other side, who's been around, but this is definitely his highest profile team. Took over after Ash. So, coach is contributing, and he's somebody that the GamerLegion guys have talked about, is having a great sense of humor as well to get them through some tough moments.
Oh.
Nice kill early for B-Stick. That'll make life a lot easier, especially with the limitations we could see from the Sinner side in terms of util. If you look at the balance between the two sides, it's far from even if the numbers favor Sinners.
I'll have to go back in towards this
group up for A again.
Yeah, going back towards this well here once again. Set. Smooth to keep tossing it towards window. Gonna line it up, make sure that it lands properly. And it is on the money here, but this boost elevated angle could deal with Rez's lurking presence. Last time he was able to strike for a little bit of impact here. This time gonna have to work through the smoke. He gets caught. Justin elevated up there, gonna close out that kill, and now Moto once again in towards CT. Familiar position, not the same success though. It has a chance to route this one towards B. Instead lays claim to a quick kill on the shock. Might have heard the rotate through CT, so yeah, he instantly goes down for a bomb play, reading it in that the jungle rotate had came through there. Beast is gonna walk right into his crosshair, and Hypex delivers the clutch.
That's a brilliant bit of manipulation coming through from a young gamer. I mean, that is very cool to see. Reading them for the last two kills like a book, just one step ahead. And it feels like maybe that's why the insistence is coming in from GamerLegion. We're seeing them sort of call out where they expect the opponents to be. Even the peek to open up towards Ticket from Hypex, right? He peeked right into that pre-firing where he knew Moto would be standing. Yeah, maybe that one's a little bit more predictable. But still, it feels like maybe that's why we're seeing the insistence from GamerLegion. They know it's going to be hard fought, but they have some expectations for how Sinners can be playing this defense. And now we get the aggressive swing, and this catches them off guard. This is the change-up pitch that they needed, and Moto capitalizes. 2 big kills, guns potentially retrievable. Indeed, they are. And now we have a much reinforced Sinners defense ready to rumble, and Snacks is the next victim of this. The pistols have completely caught GamerLegion off guard.
Yeah, Sinners are tired of letting the play come to them right now. Instead, they're going to take the fight towards A main, and they find the kills out of the 5-7 right there. Moto with a brilliant double. Kisselrek uses that deagle nicely. Oh, what do you do in this position here? PR and Hypex. I mean, they got a minute left on the clock, but I don't really see a pathway forward. And so maybe huddling up in towards Palace. Maybe a late Palace play. We'll see if they give it a go. But Sinners have been living on these low buy rounds. They did it in the first half, and that definitely was a tone shift to give them 8. And now in the second here, it comes through at a perfect time to try and tie things up, make sure GamerLegion stay a little bit further away from the finish line. And as you can see, they're not going to give this round a go here. It's already job done.
Feels like right now, GamerLegion are trying to run a very smooth bike race, and occasionally Sinners just come through and put a stick in their spoke. Question of whether they, much like a certain Jacob Pimp Winicky, can get back on their bike and keep pedaling.
I mean, it might have to come through, and they might have to change directions, trying to avoid that stick, because it's been A plays over and over.
It has, right? Like, what if we just, what if a little bit B, a little bit more mid control instead of faking the mid control, maybe just a little something. If I could get my wish here.
I can't really blame the mindset that GamerLegion are in, because it has been working, right? I mean, they've gotten 6 rounds so far.
Yeah, that's true. But how many of those came down to a 1v1 here, Cole?
A couple of them.
1 or 2. Well, they're not going to change it up. They're going to go faster, dang it. Faster out on towards A. First you don't succeed, die, and die again, and this time they get nothing. So surely this time, GamerLegion, you can't say, well, but if we just hit one more shot. Well, but if Unai just laid it. Well, he was at a spot. No, man, we gotta find a little bit more of an answer here on Mirage. That was the attempted change-up, was, hey, let's do the same thing, but really quick this time. None of the mid-presence. And let me tell you, did not work.
No, it did not there. I mean, at this point, you're just not changing things up. And, I mean, for me, it's got to...
Here we go.
Okay, now we go.
On the eco. Rez has an AK.
See,
we're going
doesn't work
B.
either. It's going to be the mindset.
They'll never see it coming this time.
Down.
Interesting note that PR dropped the Hero AK-2 Rez. Rez the hot hand.
He's been feasting here on this T side so far. He's just been giving him so many clean openers here. But there is only a Mac 10, and Shock isn't at the full ready right now. But luckily for him, Strustin is. And he's going to make sure to make him pay there from range on the catwalk. Deals with it easy, and it is the same exact result. 2 flawless rounds here back-to-back for Sinners to now be on map point.
This one has just come completely apart at the seams. GamerLegion felt like they were in full control of this half, and Sinners managed to endure, managed to withstand the onslaught. And at this point, kind of disaster for GamerLegion. Can they get this back into overtime? They've got some guns to try and do so. Limited onto the Tech 9 on Rez. That was the Hero AK in the last round, causing severe limitations in this one. Made some bold bets. They didn't pay off. Well, they might be paying off with is a Sinners win. Disastrous.
And now we do keep things a little bit surprising here as well for Sinners. Double op setup now. That's a small adjustment. You know where Moto has been for the majority of this half here. You don't know that Shock is on that B side ready to go with an op as well. B-Stick trying to paint himself out of the corner. Can't quite do that.
I felt like a very odd, lackadaisical take of Khan, considering you heard the man tick in the corner. Moto now collects on Snacks, and this one, just peeking into an angle. They didn't expect that second op, I'll tell you that much. Shock punishes them for that oversight. And this one is going to be very difficult to put together for PR and Hypex. They've got the AKs at least. We've both seen some flashes from these young guns. But we need to see everything they've got to give. They're going to make their way through the underpass. Mid has been left vacant for them, but that's because Sinners have taken control down the ramp. So they've got some information this way, and they've got a very strong position to fight back onto the site from, should it come to that. Sinners right now, the priority is don't give away a kill for free. Find out where they are, let us group, play our numbers, punish them with the advantage that we have, and lock this Mirage down. No one make a silly mistake. That's the comms right now. That's what they're talking about. That's what their call out is. Now they're starting to feel this presence on towards B. It's a fake that's being thrown by the player, but it's sort of a fake, if you will. Now PR makes his move, gets caught in transition, but he's still alive. Somehow, some way, PR making it happen, has no time. Can't get back to the bomb, can't plant this. It's going to be the clock that kills them as Sinners strike first and seize Mirage.
That's such a beautiful map right there coming through in the close. 3 incredibly strong rounds there put together to finish the job. Centers taking over eventually on that CT side and catching GamerLegion stuck in their ways. Those A plays coming through over and over again left them with very limited options.
I'll say the last time these two teams met, which was back in February, so it's been a minute to be clear. Only so many conclusions you could draw from that. They played in Inferno, and it went into overtime. It wound up being a 16-14 victory for GamerLegion. So considering how the Mirage went, maybe a cause for concern on the Inferno. We've also seen GamerLegion play these very lopsided games, I would say, where they play rough first halves and then play themselves back into the OTs. I don't think they want to do that here. It's one thing when you're doing that against a Vitality or many other squads. It's another thing if you are doing that against the Sinners. Can't be letting that happen here.
That was a good opening matchup for them here, so you want to make sure that you don't get sent into the lower bracket. Trying to avoid that here, but Sinners looking to keep up with what was working so well on Mirage here. Getting in the mix early and trying to disrupt the attack before you can ever lift off, and that is a nice piece to take out of the server early. PR sidelined, but the A site somewhat vulnerable to this approach through second mid. I mean, right now you're seeing Towson get his util off, but they're rotating, and there's the flank coming through here. Rez going to make it in towards the A side quick enough, but there is a lot of help on the scene here. Stressing already closing out kills, but Rez keeping them alive.
Oh boy, that flank might have just come back a little bit too late. Shock and a regret that he couldn't catch that kill on Towson. Let him slip away. Now the bomb gets planted. Now it's kind of reset. We're into the retake. It's Beastic slipping up the halls, so maybe if Shock says presence, they'll forget about this potential second element of the flank, but the pit player's locked on, and Towson showing nothing for the moment. Playing this well, playing this disciplined. Get available for them to scoop, need these kills quickly. Now the pit activates, and Towson makes sure that it leaves it just into the 1v2. Shock trying to make something out of nothing, and nothing it will be.
There's a prime example right there. Rez being able to save them in that round. Being able to find those 3 or 2 kills inside of the pit and immediately open up the site. You had the quick rotates. You had everything you needed right there for Sinners, except for the fact that you couldn't take down Rez quick enough. And he makes him pay in a big way with those 2 frags. Gets those numbers punched in, turns the tides in GamerLegion's favor despite the good rotates here. There's a prime example of what I'm talking about there. The individual effort stepping up.
Why do you have to do him like that?
He was so peaceful. Didn't get to live long. Round started only seconds ago. This chicken is in the danger zone right now.
These Daredevil chickens, man. Staring death in the face every round of this sweet Italian village. There's a whole bunch of util on Beastic's belt, but Beastic is on the wrong side to do anything about this one. So we're going to see GamerLegion take control of A. The bomb will almost certainly go down. And we're going to see Sinners say, you know what, we'll save every penny that we can. We've got 5 sets of armor. We've got quite a bit of util. Let's take that into the next round. Let's bail.
Run this one back. Give it a second shot there. Out of the force spot.
Pacifist round, Cole?
Not a single point of damage done so far.
One.
Wow. Get everyone on GamerLegion to get far away from the bomb.
I mean, I think if the only damage comes from the bomb detonating, we can still count this as a pacifist round.
Okay.
We could just say
exploding a bomb isn't violence.
Yeah, maybe it's like a workplace accident kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
They're just doing their job. You're like clearing a stump or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Snacks though, he does not like pacifism. He's not about the peace.
There was also a couple chickens that went down. That's not peaceful.
Crazy. Not a bullet of damage exchanged between these two teams.
I think a lot of gunfire there.
Great execution.
Next to the little burst. It's a clean dry run. That was the biggest piece of action right there in that round. Little did we know. Nice little opening kill from Sinners.
All right, but here's the end result of it, right? Is you kind of get a do-over on it. You're playing a little bit of the stack, you're playing a little bit of the surprise, you've got a whole bunch of util that was saved through. Now you're going to have a buy in the next one regardless. We even got the money on Moto saved up for the AWP to come through if he wants it. Everybody's got armor, and you've moved the stack. You have B-Stick to use that utility to push them off of B. You know that Snacks likes a call. Once he gets it, here comes one, and only one for Sinners. As they are rebuffed, Kisarek finds his feet on fire and wants to back away. Nicely done from the GamerLegion to not get sucked into that stack, to play it safe. Now they'll wait for the player to phase through the Moto smoke. And with that, Snack should just about have ended this unless he runs out of bullets and loses his life as a result. Still, a 1v3. A nigh-on impossible 1v3. We'll see B-Stick backing away and saving what money he's got to move into the future.
Yeah, big detail of that round right there was that Kisarek did have a second flash. He throws one, great flashbang, and it allows for that 1-for-1 trade early. But if he had just doubled up on those flashes while GamerLegion were fully committed, I mean, you're probably talking about a very positive exchange right there, right? Because you dodge the first flash, then everyone turns in for the second flash there as well. As you can see, nice mow down. If Rez is blinded up there, you might be looking at a different story. Just a small detail there that could have changed the tides. I did see a preemptive timeout there coming through from B-Full. No stress on Sinners just yet here. Gonna take some time to talk things through.
A great joke about that one. Timeout, though, early. That's interesting. They're coming into that first gun round, right? I mean, this was... Yeah, you'd love to have scraped one of those ecos. You got away with a couple of them over on Mirage, but this is still very much according to the plan. So it's interesting to me that B-Full is taking this timeout right now to make sure that they know exactly what that plan is.
Came through in a big way on their CT side
they got every
of
piece.
Mirage.
They got all the util, they got the op, they got everything. What are they going to do here, Cole?
Good question. I mean, if you're Sinners here and you're kind of getting used to the tendencies of GamerLegion, you've seen a lot of A plays today. Try to make sure that that A side is well staffed here. We'll see if that is the case. We'll see if GamerLegion want to keep up the trend.
Snacks' alphabet actually only has one letter in it.
Well, it gets two letters when you're on an eco. When you got Glocks, then you add B.
They're fighting Banana a little bit here, so adding to the lexicon.
Oh, that's
nice
great
damage,
right
though. Look
there.
at that. Nice kill found from B-Stick. Finds the timing on the spray, the delayed spray at that. Takes Snacks out of play. And now they want to try and work some control towards brackets, but it's stressing to meet them. He's kind of on a bit of an island. Potential utility support coming through from Kisarek, but it's just one HE, which will find its mark for good damage, but does leave it 4-on-4, even Stevens.
That's a nasty shot from Rez right there, man. Somehow winning that duel while eating an HE, while eating some spam as well. Doesn't stop the momentum here of Sinners, even though they lose that pick. They have left the bomb in spawn. That's a good catch. And Hypex gonna react accordingly here. There's a punish on the aggression here. Rez reading into follow-up aggression. He's gonna find it all. 3 frags in the round.
One armor at this
Only
point?
one, yeah. He's been taking a lot of damage to the bomb.
Oh my goodness, Rez.
But he's got just enough for that 650 upgrade. And I don't know how that HE didn't blow up his armor either.
Shoutouts to the HUD god. MC for highlighting this one.
I do love that. It's been more and more relevant, I feel like, as well. I've seen it come through because we have the same HUD and ECL as well, and I've seen people's armor break, and then they don't rebuy it in the next round.
Remember, folks, just give it a check when you're in spawn. If it's below half, probably worth picking up a new vest. See, does he rebuy? I bet you he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of those things you don't notice when it's on one. Maybe you do look down there.
Bet she doesn't.
Give it a check, but I'm with you.
Literally timeout called just so they can come on in and be like, bro, buy armor. This whole timeout.
Rez was just 1 HP right there with 1 armor, and he still managed to find 2 more afterwards.
Interesting time to take the timeout as well. What did IEM see that he really didn't like here?
I don't know.
We do have a very hot start for GamerLegion.
Everything held together nicely, right? I mean, you got the early pickup, maybe a little bit of a lack of supportive utility. Maybe they're worried about the protocols on Banana as well. They did lose the opening duel there in that round, to be fair. Armor. Of course he did. He keeps a close eye on those things.
He's always
prepared. And he had 30 extra seconds to look, so.
Key detail. Man's got the money. Man's got a fresh vest, a fresh look to step on out here. They don't want to be dropping any rounds this half, apparently. Scout is the biggest threat into this round.
Another stack here.
A stack.
4 players on the east side ready to go, trying to punish. And you've got some recyclable utility for B-Stick. At least a single smoke tossed in. I don't know if he has actually any more. There's a lot of HEs here at the ready for this CT side to try and chip away. But Rez has been so perfect at taking these duels towards middle. Tosses in his utility, avoids both HEs, gets a flashbang going as well. Free fire onto the scouter. Molly's out of position, stressing, but he still finds the frag here. PR looking to pick up the pieces as well, but he gets taken care of. Problem is, the B bomb site is open for business, and they've got it free of charge.
Yeah, this will require the retake. Do they have the appetite for it?
Oh.
Now they certainly do. That's going to be the invitation in through the door. Hypex misses a shot that could have made this a whole lot easier. Gonna wipe some of the sweat off his brow instead. Now he's got to be looking 2 ways at once. He's trying to deal with this flank and will indeed do so, but that's allowed time for Moto and Kisarek to gain space, to move back up into this. Now the ops on the angle. And Moto's on the other side of that. Moto gone. Kisarek alone, running out of time, running out of chances. No kit means this one is done, and Snacks will take his time to check it. Coming off of that, this one's already over, but he wants the damage, and Hypex will deny that last little piece of it. GamerLegion keep the record sheet clean.
A flawless start, a different direction, giving themselves the bailout option, and such great utility towards middle. Even though it doesn't go as positive as you were hoping for, you still are able to trade things out 2 for 2 in that early duel, and of course create some space elsewhere on the map. Spotting out that stack and giving themselves an option to reroute that play towards the B bomb site in time before they're too all in committed here. Early B play coming through here for Snacks. Smoke already down. He's flying up the corner here, boosting up his teammate Towson on an elevated angle. Going to drop off. Double HE's tossed in instead. Kisarek ignoring the caution and going forward here, and it's going to take some positioning here to try and spam downrange. But as the dust settles, neither one of these teams wants to lose an opening duel. Both fall a little bit further back.
You can tell Raz has been conditioned at this point to expect that utility coming through from Arch, right? Been a little bit warier about starting to take up his positioning to set up his util here for this fight, but he'll get the Molotov off, and there is no HE to find him this time around. That being said, actually, Stressor did have it, so just choosing not to play that far forward. Attempt a different angle with a punishing util. Now they take some control towards Banana. Nade finds Towson. But the belts are running dry here for the Sinners. 1 HE, 1 flash, 1 incendiary spread across the map, and there is very little that they can do with that.
Here comes a perfect call from Snacks.
A last-ditch call here, and so it goes down.
Gonna try and buy some time for the rotates to get involved. I mean, he got spotted. Hypex has seen him slink in towards the corner, tossing in HEs to try and slow down the pace of play, but an instant trade from Rez comes through. Into the site they go. Hypex gets off the op and onto the rifle here. Rez taking a lot of flak through the smoke. In fact, he'll fall. Rotates on the scene here, trying to slow down the approach, but Hypex knows he needs to take a forward-facing duel and try and even out the odds rate. Now double swinging towards CT. How far can you make it? Because Snacks has just plucked out the offer, and Hypex is pushing forward. Misses the chance, though. It's now just on Snacks' shoulders. 1v3 here. They're all coming through CT. Finds a lot of damage onto the first here. Looking to line them up, but he can't knock them all down. And that will be Sinners getting on the board here for their first.
Really nicely done from Centers in the patience game, right? I mean, they slowed that down. The XQ was coming in 30 seconds by the end. And the lone player on the B site just managed to buy those critical extra moments, catch the 1 kill necessary to make that retake a little bit easier, to expose the Lurker. The Lurker gets caught without damage on the other side of the map, and now suddenly you got the retake back on. That's a great way to get on the board for Sinners. I mean, I'm sure they would have preferred to keep a few more bodies alive. You see the Famas is a result of that, but great result early. Well, not so early. How did GamerLegion adjust?
Oh, guess we're going to take half his HP in the flames, just looking for a little bit of chip damage in that Molly, but maybe the adjustment here is to speed things up. Maybe it's to go back to the bread and butter. Rez,
it's a nice
doing
find.
what he does best, find the opener on A, and the Molly to slow them down, but are they going to stop? Going to come to a grinding halt here. Rez is going to wait a little bit more patient here for the rest of his team to get involved. There is no need to rush. There's so much time on the clock here, but they're still going to make a move.
Here comes the hit proper. Need to catch his player around the plant box. Clean out the pit, but now here comes the hold. Kill's coming back the other way in a moment, in a flash. Hypex late, and he knows he needs to get that bomb and needs to get it planted before the last player comes into play. Kisarek, a 1v2, bomb down, plenty of time for GamerLegion to take up their defensive positions to play around this. Hypex will be up in the box, which means the Snacks wants to take the contact. Now he knows where the player's coming from, allows Hypex to readjust, get a little bit more distance between him and that incoming player. Oh, misses the first one. Jiggle is good. Kisarek finds the space in the smoke. He's playing this dangerous, and Snacks anticipates the bold maneuver.
Yeah, there's no one better than Snacks to read into someone working around these angles and smokes, and will absolutely punish that play. A nice attempt, but again, it's so much credit here to the patience from GamerLegion here. I mean, they waited a good 10 seconds or so while Rez has already pushed up in towards Truck with an opening pick. And they still wait for the cavalry to arrive. Slow down the play there before they fully make their move, and they just toss in so much utility. Even with 3 players that are able to rotate in from centers, you just see the positive trades go in favor of GamerLegion. Slowly dwindle away at the players on the site and handle business. And that is a really tough thing to do, but again, it's that experience that this team does possess that is going to give them those luxuries. You're not going to see players overstep all that often here, especially a player like Rez.
So it was a little bit of a different approach, right? They'd been conditioning them to anticipate the brackets aggression, and instead Rez takes the approach through Boiler.
Still able to find that same amount of efficiency.
I mean, the response here is that more of the utility gets devoted towards the apartments early on to try and find that damage. But this time around, GamerLegion has slowed it up. Nice little bit of chip damage. Kisser trying to answer it back, not succeeding at least for the moment. GamerLegion liking this start to this round despite a very good flash. PR still manages to find the kill. That is punishing. Sinners had the right idea, but PR just made it work for him.
I mean, crouching spray. There's not a whole lot of room for missing in the Boiler angle, but that is a luxury right there for sure. Now re-aggression coming through at a wrong time here. Moto punished by his HP here in shock. Gonna take a grave, and yeah, Snacks just flying out of the apartments. Catches Moto completely blindsided. Oh, there we go.
Hang on.
Second try.
Keep your finger on it. Come on. Only one hand on the board. He's taking his hand off the mouse. Knows it's a save. He's like, hey, look, I played 1,000,000 Infernos. I don't know why he sounds like this now. This is not what Snacks sounds like.
It's because he's nonchalant.
4v2 against the CTs? Eh, no problem for a guy like me. A guy like me, I use one hand.
Snacks Italian?
He is in this moment. Specifically, he's from New Jersey.
I guess, it's fitting with the map. Because he's on Inferno. He's Italian now.
But American-Italian, to be clear.
Yeah, okay.
Or Italian-American, I suppose, as most people say that. Snacks when they get a Glock entry. It's anti-Italian discrimination.
I didn't know this was based on oh my gosh, I almost did it. New Jersey. This map.
This map, yeah. Italy, New Jersey.
This is Trenton.
Italy, comma, New Jersey. Don't eat snacks, Prano.
We got a little bit of activity. I'm gonna push down mid for Kisserect. I think this is maybe a good approach from Sinners. They need to throw something in the mix, like they were doing on Mirage, to try and get in the faces of GamerLegion. That play does not work though. As quickly as it starts, PR are gonna punish it, and that is the biggest rifle taken down already. I'm kind of impressed with how often GamerLegion are finding success on this A play, given that you almost always see either B-stick or stressing down on alone on the B side of the map.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're still just constantly breaking through A is nice.
Hydration break here. Hydration cam locked in. Getting well hydrated. Over on the center side.
Now he's locked in.
Gotta keep those electrolytes up. Here's a new wrinkle. We're through CT. Haven't seen this just yet, and as you said, they've shown a lot of 1B approaches if they don't get the banana contact, so right now, that's what Snacks is looking for. He's trying to run this player down. He showed the presence. Towson, meanwhile, this is such a clever move. Instead of actually trying to do the pinch on towards B, you bait out the rotation with Snacks making noise as if it's a B pinch, and then as the A players try and swing into action to bail out their teammate, you've got Towson positioned to punish them. Lovely little wrinkle coming through there from GamerLegion as they tap on an inevitable 8th round.
I mean, they're doing that with 25 seconds left, and you still have Hypex watching from T stairs as an opper. You're very familiar with that position, but he just gives over that information to Towson that there is re-aggression in brackets. Be ready for, you know, a potential swing on arches, and of course, with that information, Towson massively advantaged in that duel, and is going to hand out some clean kills. And even though there's a little bit of low time, yeah, you can see 25 seconds left, and you're still in a little bit of question as to where you go. That is certainly going to simplify things right there for you. And it's another A play that works out for GamerLegion.
Oh, do it. Give us an opera duel. Never mind. Massive utility damage here on B as Kisserect wanted to get a little bit more aggression, and B-Stick suffers the most for it. These guys are limping now. And once again, they've left one player. But in this case, it's because Moto's rotating in towards support. They're not going to leave one wounded player alone on B. They're going to play the 2-3 split. So once again, it's the start to another round on Inferno, and it's a really rough start for Sinners. I feel like we're becoming a broken record here, Cole.
Yeah, definitely. Haven't seen a lot of massive exchanges of util over there towards Banana either, and you just see, in this round in particular, GamerLegion just dump HEs right on top of both B-Stick and Kisserect. So some great damage early here. Going to require Moto to step up here on a B-side defense. He's got a nice angle for the approach. We'll see if GamerLegion have the proper flashes to break through. This B-side target feeling inevitable. You got PR on the lurk here, just starting to work his brackets control. There's the smokes downrange here. The Molly's followed up, and Moto just immediately falls out of position. A little bit slow on his motion, but going to find some safety in that counter flash coming through there, also slowing them down.
They're dumping everything, everything to try and get away with this. That's a shot, but it's not a kill. Needed the kill. Kisserect, though, gonna follow it up. No. Dancing in the flames, just wanders into the incendiary, the Molotov, and so he is done for. PR now picking them off on the flank, on the periphery, and there's nothing you could do. Yeah, you desperately need some rounds here, Sinners, but they know this one is settled business. Might have been a footstep caught there. Certainly a shoulder now spotted. So Stressing at least will give them the luxury of potentially being able to save their guns, but that is devastating for the Psych defenders.
Just phenomenal util on the execute right there. There's no safe place to stand. There's smokes that are being forced out of the CT side. You're underhanding and trying to toss away as much utility as possible on your fadeaway right there for the Opper and Moto. So he gets left with nothing but damage. And again, the only real piece of the defense there was Kisarek on low HP. And nice little pan there onto what his option was, to fall back into the flames instead of getting spammed through the smoke. So no good options there on that B defense.
No,
and then PR even changes up his lurk as well. I mean, instead of walking in towards arches and trying to cut off the rotate, you know Sinners is preparing for you. They're really late on these rotates, and instead he wraps himself up through the lane side and takes a kill as well.
So what do you have for us? It's pure desperation here. Strassen's going to make the really bold move here. Out on the steps. Got a teammate in the bedroom to support. Here they've got to activate. They need this kill. Rez does, in fact, falter, but he can't take it any further. Trade is there. Meanwhile, Banana players lost. It's much faster pace of play here from GamerLegion on Banana. They've already gained car control, and a trade quick of Towson. Means that the advantage stays with GamerLegion. Now they can slow this down. Now they can start to play the clock because Moto's trying to retake some control. It's a player flying down middle. They know there's presence on B because of that smoke thrown, which means that Snacks can just run this over towards A.
What?
Unless...
Okay. What are we doing? We're slowing it down here. We're cooking a little bit.
It's getting weird.
Smoking towards Moto. Low HP on Snacks. Full spam. He'll wait it out. HE could... Say try and deny that plant here. No dice on that. Trying to give himself some vision. The only problem that GamerLegion faces is that the two players on A are low HP, and the one healthy player is taken care of, but Moto might not know that. So finds himself a reward as an AWP and is going to back away.
It's actually kind of almost nice that you die with the off there, because then Moto sees the carrot and grabs it and runs away with it and doesn't even attempt the retake against what we know to be two incredibly low players. It's like, yeah, you'll give them an op. You just got double-digit rounds.
Terrorists win.
That's 10. That's 10 for GamerLegion. Double digits on the first half here, coming out with a roaring start. They were a little bit slow to lift off on Mirage. And this T side is just working every way. Seen a little bit of that variation. You've seen Rez just take control of brackets, find so many opening duels. And Towson there being able to finally get an early exchange towards Banana, that's been rare. But just running through the smoke and finding that early pick. Not a lot of early fights towards Banana. We'll get it again here. Flashbang well placed. Rez is already sidelined here. An opening duel going in the way of Sinners is a new thing to handle for GamerLegion. Ooh. And it's equalized. Towson does it again. Another entry there provided, but a lot of damage done as well. Smoke spam continuing to dwindle away at the HP bar. Somehow, everyone's still standing for now.
Feels like this might actually be a fight where we're going to have to keep track of people's magazines. The rare moment where it might matter. Not just yet. Oh, huge opportunity for Moto. Opportunity missed. Gonna really tilted the scales on this round. He's going to reposition in towards the apartments, trying to anticipate this lurk, trying to anticipate PR. And he might just do that. Indeed. Makes good on his mistake earlier. Now means that Shot can confidently be rotating over to support these B players. This is where the fight comes down. 45 seconds. We're locking in. Strasser wants the information, but he still managed to get the kill, and the collapse succeeds. 2 rounds, double their number as we head into the break. diving in for what could be a very short half here on Inferno. Sinners, little do or die action as GamerLegion look to make a 3-map series of this one, and Nuke is starting to feel a little inevitable. Dooley's up on Hypex, an 8 on Snacks, and Glocks across the board as the Sinners try and make something happen here on this pistol.
I was looking for a little bit of information or a fight. Gonna work his way in towards second mid and try and spot down range here, but this time immediately taken care of there. Shock. Gonna find a quick headshot and open things up for the pistol. That leaves only a single A defender here. Towson with some utility to try and slow down the approach here. He's gonna need some rotates if it is a finish.
You know, they're just
He's
like,
getting
hey,
the rotates.
Is it a lurk? Res only spotted one. Is it a lurk? Guys, I don't think it's a lurk.
And PR still got a lot of information on Banana, so you can afford these rotates. What you can't afford is more opening duels here going in favor of Sinners, and they're just taking full control of this round. Should be an easy pathway. Well, into either bomb site for that matter. They're both in rotation. Because we're going to hear the rotate through CT. Are they going to go back towards A? Okay, that might give them the answer. The bomb is just... Moto's getting his steps in right now. He's on the bottom of these stairs, man. Just moving all around. No bomb plant needed.
Best result. Every spot on the map. I feel bad for Towson. He saw a juicy target, the player down by T-Ramp, who was looking towards Banana, completely blindsided. Tries to take a slightly wider angle to get that kill. Punished by Boiler. He saw the juicy piece of candy under the box with a stick propping it up, and he went right for the candy.
Saw the chocolate-covered jelly bean in the trail mix.
Oh.
Went straight for it.
We've all made mistakes, Cole. My mistake was not reading what was in the trail mix. PR, trying to drive by, actually collecting a bit of damage off of it. Catching a player with smoke in hand. Right now, it is only PR to try and stall out what is looking to be a B pop here. 4 players grouped. Here comes the maneuver.
Nice smoke tossed in right there. That's going to land firmly on the boost. There wasn't any presence. But it's still just a single player here. Looking to offer up the resistance. That's just PR. And an entrance into the site with the MAC-10 leading the charge. And this one might be another one of these rounds here where not a lot of action's going to be shown as PR slowly backs away. And they'll get a second bite out of their force bite. Everyone holding on to their pistol and armor. And Snacks, only one hand on the wheel, as we've seen. Looks like he's trying to call somebody.
Yeah, calling a little sport right now. Phone a friend. You guys,
he's so nonchalant.
How should I set this up? A little scratch to the chin. Roll the beard. Pondering. The mind is lost in thought.
What's he thinking about?
Terrorists win.
Do you think he's thinking about the next round, or do you think he's thinking whether he left the oven on?
It looks like it looked like he was thinking about whether or not he left the oven on. That is an understandable fear. Always double check before you head out, especially if it's international. You might be gone for a while.
Well heated oven. Taking some control on Banana. It's a bit more of a stack here this time. Chip damage off the HE. Incendiary to push them back. They want to go for a flash play to try and catch these players off guard, but they got to wait out some util first. There's the smoke to isolate a player, and Kissaret confirms, hey, there's heavy presence, guys. Get the heck out of there. Maybe they're going to grab an HE. Back the other way. You've given them an AK. Do you really want to give them more? Here comes the adjustment. Here comes the rotation. Sinners now putting the numbers back towards A, which means Snacks is going to have his work cut out for him. Not going to be so nonchalant in this one if they want to make something happen here. Oh, nice idea, but Shock is prepared for it. Bomb's going to go down, likely just going to be a save of this AK to try and bring him to the next round.
It's one of those moments right there where I'm a little bit surprised that you don't get more rotation out of GamerLegion when they get that smoke down towards the top of Banana. That's where you need to see pieces start to move around the map. The obvious reaction to going 1-for-1 in that Banana duel and then losing the top of car control is to give over that space and try and make a move elsewhere on the map. So really trusting that Snacks could do it all by himself, but that extra help could have gone a long way here. Now extra damage being done by Beastic as he whips out his sidearm. The only thing going to be held on to is a Towson AK. So again, not the worst way to lose a round.
Yeah, most important thing.
Hey, number 5. Remember if you could do that for all the rounds in this map.
This is it's Counter-Strike does Sesame Street, finding all the numbers. Can you save 5 rounds?
Now can you say 6?
Let's see. We'll find out if they can say 6.
Well, wait on that that next number. Haven't gotten that far yet. Ooh, little shadow scene, Apex. And he's gonna just take the lower approach to their moto crouches right into the shot. On crouches, rather. That is a lovely opening pick right there. A lot of confidence out of Hypex, giving himself an opening duel there. But he's going to need to do even more. They're around the corner, and it looked like a deadly collateral coming through there. Instead, it's a double opener for the T side on A. It is fully clear right now, but unknown to this T side just yet. So it might buy a little bit of time here for Rez to get more involved. He's going to get met by another smoke, though. He doesn't see a thing. The big question is, are Sinners going to make a move in time? They wait for that moto smoke to come down, and that's going to help them out quite a bit. They're just spamming. That's all that GamerLegion have left in the tank, and as they slowly realize that nothing is latching on there, they're going to have to back away.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is still in that point where we would really not be too worried for GamerLegion just yet, except that we watched how things got out of control on Mirage in that comeback. And once things started to stump them, they really struggled. And we also know how difficult it can be to get your feet under you long term for a CT side on Inferno when you're losing these rounds, when you're unable to build up the economy, when you need the nades, right? They've still got a huge cushion to play with. That's why they've been very conservative about these saves. That's why they've been trying to string some stuff around. Hey, you found the 6.
Wow.
Terrorists win.
Got all sorts of numbers.
7.
Nice.
Challenge
6.
been issued.
See if they can get it. Move themselves up to 7. Got to give a lot of delay in between those two numbers. We'll see if GamerLegion can give them that.
All right, you've got everything. You have 2 kits, you have the op. What are we going to do? What are we going to do, GamerLegion?
Yeah, you had even more. They started that last round. You had the opening pick as well from Moto. Or rather from Hypex. You kicked things off first. They had a 4v5 and it got a little bit out of control there quickly. Oh, Shock. Thought he was going for the silent jump. Or silent boost, but he just jumped up instead there. Nice and quiet. That'll do the trick as well. Maybe early activity from Boiler could catch them by surprise. There's the flashbang. There's the punish. It'll come through eventually.
Boy.
But the molly into the full flash. Double kill there coming through from Shock. And a little bit of assistance from Stress. And I mean, this is, again, a done deal. And now,
Yeah.
you start to get a little bit concerned here. Because there's no delay in between 6 and 7. It's a quick win from Sinners.
Bomb has been planted.
Full pain, full punish here for GamerLegion. Alarm bells have to be sounding right now. The klaxon is going off. Yes, it's Inferno. Yes, it's the classic, oh god, we lost the first fight, time to save fest. But this is starting to get downright distressing, and you can see the hunt now. Sinners are circling up, the hunting dogs. They're baying for blood. Try and scrape every single one of these guns out. Increase the pain, increase the pressure here on GamerLegion. You know there's a player under him. Why not try and scrape him away? Moto can't quite collect on Rez. Rez is low, though. Not long for this world. Snacks, they know he's backed up into this corner. They're gonna chase, and Shock goes for the swing, and there will be no guns to make it through. Absolutely nothing for GamerLegion as the 7 hits the screen, and the 7 hits the score count.
Man, taking all the guns out right there. And again, a quick dismissal. Perfect setup here to deny this early play there. Definitely realizing that PR is not that tall there. They're going to run these guns down and take everything out of the hands here. Now, I mean, again, a little bit of nervousness here in the GamerLegion camp here. Fully understandable. Much needed timeout to slow down the pace of play here that Sinners are getting away with.
I mean, a reminder, if you're just joining us right now, GamerLegion have not won around this half. They got a 10-2 first half. This they got that ball right onto the fairway. It's so close. They just need to sink the putt. And it is not going their way. Conditions have changed here. And Sinners are surging. 5 rounds in a row. How far can they go is the big question. 5-7's out. Severe limitations here, but a rifle in the hands of PR. See if he can light the way for his teammates. Gonna be tucked in by the sandbags, and for the moment, the presence of Sinners is headed towards A, so it doesn't seem like that rifle is going to be heavily implicated. Let's see if the pistols could do much more. The answer is not on first brush. Rez on second. Here's them backing away. Does he want to try and swing? Does he want to try and capitalize? You know he's itching for it, but he thinks better of it. Decides to play the time. Decides to play back. Decides to try and deploy the nade. B-Stick is now entering the danger zone with his armor. So keep an eye on that, I suppose. But it's GamerLegion in the crossfire.
Ooh.
And the crosshair.
I don't know if Shock registered that.
Some ground on the balcony.
Aggro here going in towards brackets, and Hypex can't hold up to it. Easy pickings up against the pistols, and P9 not so free, but the lurkout through apartments should seal the deal. It's just PR left into a 1v3 here. We'll see if he can show up with any heroics. The problem is he's just missed a small window of opportunity to punish that push up middle, and that's just going to lead him into T-spawn here. And now make it 8 here for Sinners.
Quintessential Inferno problem as well, right? The promise of the sieve is too valuable. Let's say, that's a normal human to say it, is just too valuable to give up the risk of trying the low percentage 1v3. You've got this cushion if you're GamerLegion. You've been playing with this cushion. You've been saying, well, we can get it next round. We can get it next round. We just need to keep the money. We just need to keep nursing it along. You're running out of rounds, man. 8 located. I spawned a 9 right above it as well.
I did, yeah.
Sinners are too, man. I think Sinners are thinking 9, 10, 11, 12. I think at this point, Sinners actually only think about one number, and that's 2. 2 and 0, to be specific. That's what they're thinking about.
That's all they had at the first half there. Only able to claim 2 rounds, and since then have completely blanked this GamerLegion squad. We'll see if they can figure something out here in another round where they have all the pieces. At this point, what we've seen out of Sinners is pretty similar. It's same old aggression towards brackets and finding opening picks off of flashes, but the op pushing the smoke. That was bold move from Moto, was risking it all for some opening damage here. Doesn't get anything going for himself, and Snacks is going to double down.
Oh boy.
Find the second there, and this could be a big pivot point here for GamerLegion. Finally did lock themselves down one.
And now you see why they've been stringing along that economy for so long. Why they've been playing the slow, patient, conservative, saving game. Because all they needed was one of these rounds where Sinners gets a little too goofy with it. They go a little too bold, where they jump and op through a smoke on Banana, and suddenly, well, they still need to stick the landing. B-Stick has other ideas. PR is gone. They're going to get back on the road to making this a problem for GamerLegion. This would be the way you do it. Identify the spawn on Rez. back away. Know that you've shown presence at brackets. That means that they don't have the information. They're starved of it right now. Hypex wants to retake the angle, though, and as he gets this info, now we see if another player is going to rotate off. Because they have Toast in here. Hypex has a good idea. There's 2 players to reinforce.
No way.
They've done a decent job of this. Is Rez going to come
They
through
push through the
He does.
smoke.
Oh, boy. And that's a quick death. It falls to Snacks. He can trade himself out 1-for-1, but that's just not enough. The bomb's going down. And these A players are late into the rotation. The nade is desperation. It doesn't quite find its mark to pop the smoke, which means no vision for Hypex, which now means a decision must be made. Hypex and Towson.
There's no smokes for the CT side right now.
Where's the kids? Is there one down on site? They don't have
There
them on
might
their
be.
person.
I see one in Coffins.
Okay.
One in CT as well. So
Got
there's a
time,
chance still, but they got to make a move.
Kill found. It's right in front of them, but Shock shows the problem with that plan. Hypex just has to stick this. He's out of time. He knows that Shock will convert and even get the kill to boot. And that's 9 right there. It looked like it was going to be all GamerLegion. The 5v3 in this one. The man advantage. Everything working out for them, Cole. But they cannot keep it going.
That's brutal right there. I mean, they got a little gift wrap at the start of this round, man. Up, pushing the smoke. And instantly a 5v3. Now, granted, there were some low HP bars, but that wasn't the big concern here. It's that move being made, a gutsy call. And they're making sure to let him know here. That is so infuriating. But a gutsy call to move through that CT smoke that came through. And of course, if you're GamerLegion, it's the one window of opportunity Sinners have to make that slide. Because Snacks was in transition, trying to rotate through Coffins. And you don't realize that they're already in your face before it's too late. And of course, that's 9 for Sinners here. Still flawless in this second half.
Absurd. It's feeling absurd. But this is the point that we're getting to, and I'm sure GamerLegion are feeling much the same way. We're gonna have to do this the hard way. Do not want to see a tight scoreline up there. We skip 10 on our count. Oh, PR. Did he get a pixel? Did he get a spot? Hypex certainly did. PR's going looking for a little bit more. So this is again the way you want to start it. It's Shock, the man who closed the last round. Now done to start this.
Good reaction here. Take some brackets control. You don't have any space towards Banana. You're not walking away empty-handed here in the round, even though you're in a 4v5. PR going for some jump spots, and he's nicely timed it. Can't go for another one. It's a bit of a risk here. He'll stick around. He's not falling away here. Gonna get his smoke down and fall back a little bit more passive. No. Just gonna double back here in towards
space.
sandbags here, boosting up his Kisserek, but he has not given up on this position.
He does love to play the sandbags, and it's going to be Snacks. He's trying to support him with a flashbang to find this timing. PR can activate, but if
Looks like he's trying to line it up.
Decision. Get out of here, man. You got no smoke.
Oh,
PR.
he's dismissed.
Oh, it's way too late. Can't help him out. Can't bail him out of that position. Always going to be the risk of playing that forward spot. Now you can see 2 players are rotating over, but they are committed. It's 15 seconds, right? So it's Snacks on an island. He's got to do it. Teammate trying to spam through the smoke.
No
Snacks collects on the first, gives himself time. Beastic goes over the top, but now Towson's here, and he's trying to deny this plan. He'll do exactly that. That's the round. That's the round. They can't get the bomb stuck down, and so GamerLegion slip away, and just at the buzzer, they managed to sneak through an 11th round just in the moment where Sinners were gonna pull abreast. GamerLegion find a bit more.
Towson with the triple right there. He didn't even need it all, right? But he'll take it. But denying that bomb plant, making a bold call, playing on the edges of that molly, and not enough protection for the plant coming through there. As they lay siege onto that site there, Towson offering up enough disruption.
Actually looked
Tired
like
of
the player
losing.
going over the top, almost second guessed it, thinking, seeing the blood splatter, thinking the player was already dead. Okay, Sinners. You got close enough to believe in this comeback. You got close enough to taste the 2-0 victory, to be thinking about it already somewhere in the back of your minds. Now you have to lock in. Now you face the brutal reality of coming back from 10-2 down, which is that you have no real margin for error. You've made your one mistake. It's about all you get away with.
Exactly that. So little room for any sort of heroic plays. We saw that from Towson. This time, pretty setup from PR. Snacks gonna help him out in finding that opening pick. And a man advantage rolling out once again here for GamerLegion. Got the job done in the last round there with the Towson heroics, but this time a different option here. An approach that could go through arches, but you'd have to risk the smoke push here. And Hypex wants to shore up that gap, and that's exactly where he'll go. In fact, the whole defense kind of reacting accordingly to that utility. Hypex going to cut off the first and immediately reposition here. Goes out for a second. Hypex ready and heated up here fully. Flashbang working on both B players, but too much resistance to run into it. PR with the closer. It's a full house in between that duo of Hypex and PR to seal the deal.
This is now so punishing for Sinners, right? They've made so much happen in this half. Give them credit for it. Run back 7 rounds in a row to open, but it's all gonna matter for naught if you can't now chain 3. If you can't find a little bit more gumption, a little bit more pressure on to GamerLegion, and yeah, you've got the guns to do it, but so do they. You gotta do this the hard way now.
Oh, and that doesn't get any easier. The Rez just strikes for an opening. Dozy rifling down middle. B-Stick sidelined early. And another man advantage here, but they don't want just one here. They're looking for even more. Towson right underneath him doesn't realize, and he is going to give it back there. An equalizer found Shock. Well prepared for the re-aggro. And now we got a 4v4.
That I think is maybe a little bit of a blunder, right? You already had the knockout blow attempted by Rez. That succeeds. You get away with it. Towson looks for more. He really wants to just put the cap on this, gain that early advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, Towson very rare to make those sort of mistakes. And after the round that he had that finally unleashed, GamerLegion got them their first defensive round with that 3K. He might have been feeling a little overconfident.
A little overheat.
This leaves them vulnerable towards B. As you can see, it's only a single player for now, but they got some good reads right now. Brackets control still held by Snacks, and he's just calling the troops over, saying, guys, we're going to bank it on a B play here, and they're exactly right.
Yeah, he's calling this based on how little utility they've seen recently, right? There's been no harassment towards Brackets, so he's taking the risk. Now he starts the flank, which means that they gotta go quick over on the Sinners side. Rez flies back into the action. That's the way that smoke play was supposed to work the first time. PR still alive. Hypex collecting players as they try and slip through and try and go for the wrap. It all falls to Moto, and Moto can do no mo. That's gonna be GamerLegion bringing us the full series. They made it sweaty. They made it dangerous. Sinners pushed them to the brink, but we're still going to see Nuke.
Yeah, I mean, a hard-fought effort right there from Sinners, to give them credit, but it did seem like GamerLegion just needed a spark and provide
player cams. We just see Flamesy and Apex hugging. Just warms my heart. Been doing a lot of that over the last year at Trophy Lift moments. Good time to be affectionate, you know?
Yeah, that is tough not to be in a moment like that.
We'll see who's going to be hugging after this one. Maybe out of relief as much as anything else. GamerLegion coming off of a really hot run in Fort Worth, now being pushed by a Sinners team that doesn't get too many cracks at this level of competition. But Sinners, reminder, have a spot in the major. They're showing this kind of form against GamerLegion. It might be an eye to keep on, a name to keep an eye on. As we start thinking about Cologne.
Coming up around the corner here, both these teams are going to get themselves set up nicely. And right now, set up nicely is GamerLegion already pushing their way towards hell. This is all over the map, but Sinners are just falling back and conceding this space and playing on the sites proper instead of trying to control outer yard. Interesting approach on the pistol, but if you have the pieces in the right place here, it can be effective. Gonna need to find some headshots soon here as the collapse is coming through from multiple different directions, and that is gonna hurt. You got the flank. Shock still being overlooked somehow, but oh, he just misses. I can't believe he lived that long, to be honest with you, but Snacks not gonna be able to contain the dualies and the re-aggression, but everyone heading in from the ramp side here. This is going to be a tricky retake with the great post plant positions that GamerLegion have.
It should be nigh on impossible as well. See if they can get this tap through. First domino to fall. Actually, 2 dominoes at the same time. Traded back the other way. How is Moto still alive? How is he getting kills? Well, that's been answered. Towson finds the solution. Nice try there. A little bit more damage than perhaps he would have expected, but it is GamerLegion to collect that first pistol.
With that damage here, we'll see if it... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it feels like we've... pistols have worked out very nicely for whoever gets them in this series so far.
In the first half. Yeah.
In the first half.
Or I guess in the second for that matter, too. In general, it's good to get those pistols going. We haven't seen a ton of second round conversions, or at least second round force buy conversions coming through there.
We have an attempt at one here. B-stick with a little bit of altitude and an A1S.
Moto handed that over with the kills that he got in that last round. At least they were able to afford something better. I think Nuke is a very force-buyable map, and he's going to take even higher approach here. Rez might have been on the tip of his screen right there. He does react. Oh, and it's a big swing. He still gets one. Not the worst-case scenario for how committed B-stick was. And does a lot of damage on the Rez.
You have no real presence outside. It's up on top of some altitude. I'm not sure if it fell down.
You're going to have to risk...
You're going to get a chance to get it.
I think you're going to have to risk shock to go and clear outside and see when that information comes through that no one is outside. Not only is that going to be valuable for his team, but then, of course, he can start to maybe pick up that rifle. And, in fact, he's not going to go for the rifle on the elevated angle. He's going to go for the one that dropped there as the A-play is coming through. Well-staffed site, but an early pickup coming through from Towson to open up access. Here comes a MAC-10 from Shock there, striking through many, but a reroute down the vents is a simple solution. They lose another body here, and again, Towson down incredibly low. It's going to come down to Hypex holding the line down the vents. Moto with no armor here reacts to Shock, coming through secret just in time, and is going to look to play his life.
That's the kill. That should just about do it. Shock with a MAC-10, just no chance without anyone to create a little bit of space for him. Matt will just certainly shut the door. Got risky. It did some damage, and a little bit of an upgrade off of that MAC-10 is going to make Shock feel a whole lot better about living here. Just a bit more firepower to bring into the next round. The Sinners probably aren't going to have too much to array behind it.
Terrorists win.
Actually astonishing that Beastic got a kill.
I know. I mean, he's like getting triple swung essentially. Rez didn't want to overcommit to the fight there. Snacks goes swinging and somehow managed to isolate a little threat, but you do get a force buy. Again, another one here coming through from Sinners. Could be falling into a little bit of a trap here, but also could work in their favor. They did a lot of damage in that last round. They know there's a lot of reinvestment in this one, so they're going to look to keep the pressure on.
It's a dangerous game you're playing, though. Building a house of cards, and all it's going to take is a particularly nasty table shake, and that thing's coming way down.
Got to make do here with the limited resources, and in rounds like this, again, there's going to be a severe lack of utility, so if GamerLegion have any intention of slowing the round down, that would be very valuable as Beastic gets smoked off. He's not going to be much of a factor in this play. Smoke spam is his only hope here as the A play coming through, and it is going to be helping him out. Beastic connects through the smoke with Shock doing damage from the top ropes of Hut, and a quick 5v3 here. This house of cards might be well structured as another frag coming through from Kissarak. Finally, Beastic dealt with, but still a lot to pick up the pieces here on this T side, and Hypex helping out, but both are incredibly low now.
Yeah, I mean, that damage off of 5-7 is not a bad result. The problem is you do open up the back door a little bit. You give them some options as far as where they want to go. That's where your concern comes in. Rez is going to try and creep around the corner. Creep around. Find a headshot, hoping that that Hut player is going to come back towards him. Hoping that he's going to get something to give them an avenue in. And Shock's going to deliver it. Didn't need to move. Didn't need to make the motion there. Completely lost track of the fact that Rez could be present. Do they know Strassman's still here in the back of sight? Well, they're not going to care because they're going lower. They're out of here. That's a bomb plant, all but guaranteed. Well maneuvered for GamerLegion, and what was looking to be a dire circumstance now turns into a bomb plant. Even numbers, and nobody on the server has any health.
Oh, and that's going to lead him falling down the vents. Rez ready to catch his opposition, and Kisselrack wondering how it got here. 5v2 at one point now. 2v1, and he's just going to go for the stick. They're going to open up that door eventually, surely. Yeah, I mean, they're just waiting. Have a good idea that there's not a kit present, and that's a frustrating loss right there. And that is exactly what we highlighted a lot in Mirage in that first half there, where you see GamerLegion let Sinners kind of be the victim of their own demise there. They walk into these angles for free. They play out these man advantage situations a little bit risky in a certain sense, and that just works out so perfectly for the patience out of Hypex and Rez.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what spooked him out of the corner there. They were in such a good position, generally speaking, but those moments, those jitters, they'll cost you. Team like GamerLegion's certainly capable of punishing them, and they'll do that again and again. Credits on to Hypex early. 6-0. Always a nice start here, especially considering we haven't really gotten the op into play for him. Snacks finds that opener. Beestick caught lacking. Looking in towards the squeaky door.
It's another force buy here. I mean, again, they know these rounds are coming close, but they keep on walking into the trap here.
Man.
Yeah.
I gotta stop this. You're chasing the investment right now and saying, but if we just break one through, we should have won that last one. We should have won that last one.
That's the mindset, but as you said, it's so costly in the end. It's going to allow for a great foundation here, and Snacks, that is a nasty headshot. Winning that tough duel.
The best part of that as well is that they've only seen Snacks outside. So it's not like they can panic rotate to defend lower. They don't know that it's anything more than Snacks outside.
Yeah, that's a great point there. They're not going to send any extra resources. He's so often, on a solo mission. And so the best case scenario in a spot like this is probably a save. Try and find some exits, find some upgrades. And even that is going to be a tricky task, as PR is just waiting for the re-aggro in lobby. Handles business, 2 kills extra. I'm going to flash to claw up the vents there. Towson spots out Kisselrack. And now he's even in the danger zone. Trying to save this rifle. Won't get away. 1 HP for Towson. He lives to tell the tale. And now here's where you have to wave the white flag.
Cole, I think that's good for them. I think it's good that they lost that last rifle, because there's no feasible world where they could justify the force on this time. You got nothing to force around. They need to eat their vegetables. They need to take their medicine. They need to eco. Let's get some guns out. Let's get an op out. Let's have full rifles. Okay, even here, maybe Beestick buys a little more than I'd like. Kisselrack does as well. They don't like their vegetables over on the center side. Let's see if Kisselrack can justify it. He does find a kill. Now he's made a little bit of money here for himself. $600 off of that SMG kill reward goes a long way to papering over his investments here. Shock dies. Swinging through a smoke into a flashbang.
Was his teammate's flash, but the design of the play was maybe promising. The execution of it, blinding himself up, was
I like the
not
concept.
so nice.
It's like the concept.
I was going to say, if this is the round of, it's one of the rounds that they finally do break through with finally not calling the force. Just a little half by, that'd be poetic, but they're still struggling here to close things down. Kisselrack's still very low, and the A-bomb side definitely weakened in numbers. That's where they intend to go. They throw in a lot of utility to fake it out. Like, they're committed, but they might head into Kisselrack, and if he goes on cleared, it could be something extra.
It's big if. If they check him, well, he's got an MP9 and 18 health.
Uh-oh.
Audio cues. Now he strikes and tries to hold his trigger just a little bit too long. PR turns, keep his teammate clean. That's going to be a very sad Kisselrack. Blasted along the shutter. Bomb's ticking away. Certainly no kit. Chances of a retake here, minimal.
Yeah, they're just going to try and chip away again, use that bomb damage, a little extra leverage, but Towson going to handle business close up, personal up against those pistols, and PR with the finishing touches. 5-0
nice
here.
3-5-7s if you're GamerLegion.
You can't say no to that.
Can't say no to that.
And in the 6th round, we're going to see a timeout, and we're finally going to see the full gun round come through for the first time.
That's a new
out of centers.
Warmers. 4 head warmers coming through from Kissarak.
You got to warm up the mind.
Get the frontal lobe heated. Think faster.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's a thing. You play Counter-Strike better if you're hot or if you're cold?
That's a good question.
Specifically in the brain.
I feel like cold hands are never good.
Okay, but what if you hit warm hands somehow, but a cold head? Cool. They say cooler heads prevail.
Yeah, that's true. Could be the case.
I don't know how we're going to set up this experiment, but we can find a way.
Ooh, that's the first stop that Moto's brought out in the 6th round. And it's going to give them an opening pick.
You save? Hypex thinking right now, man, I got to get me one of those.
Yeah, he tried it. Got dismissed. Moto took care of business early. Dropped his counterpart. Rez gonna sneak around the edge of the smoke here. Now this is a pathway.
They don't know.
And some serious damage. Now, how far can he get advanced before there's any realization setting in? When you toss in those smokes, you should know that there's at least a small possibility. And there you go. Whoa. Great awareness from Moto to come through there just in time before Rez is too far out. He's even trying to reposition. Keyword trying. He's not going to fully extend around the corner here. But he is going to try and keep Contain of Hell, which is not a bad read, especially in a 5v3. We've seen them falter in moments like this. I think that little bit of reserve is much needed here out of Moto, because the rest of his team is in prime position to shut this down.
What a reward from Moto towards this team for getting that AWP finally. Talk a bit, delivering on it. But this is far from done. Snacks make sure of that. Now Shock needs to try and give them a little bit of a surprise.
No way.
Ooh, bit of a fumble. Huge fumble, I'd say. PR, though, silenced by the HE. With that bomb still not planted, time expiring, 10 seconds. They gotta get this thing stuck down. They do so, but Stress Aaron is waiting for that swing out of Towson. All falls to Snacks.
Oh.
Big Peach. And so Snacks will go hungry. B-Stick with the kill. A defuse easily secured. And that's a nice showing to capitalize on the op kills coming through out of Moto.
Apparently Peach is on his favorite fruit. Not going to be able to close this one out just yet. Here, Sinner's on the board, though, and as you said, it's just an immediate reward and payoff for making sure that you have all the pieces here ready to go. Could have got dicey. I think there's a big HE toss in from Shesarn to slow down the play right there. Again, key late utility that you probably wouldn't have if you didn't have the money to buy it. So dropping that bomb, saving the day in a big way there, forcing what could have been great positions into a little bit more dicey spots for the rest of GamerLegion. But they have, you know, with the risk that they played out in the early rounds here, kind of handed over 5 rounds to this T side already. So now we'll see what GamerLegion do to bounce back when they're playing up against these gun rounds.
Setting up the smokes. 3 of them to be exact. Limited vision here. Let's see if Moto can get a little whisper of something over. I think he's got decent vision there if they don't hug him too well. Oh, changes it up to try and go for the nade pop. No one's close enough to that just yet. They were waiting for the nade. But it's Shock instead to line up two. That's tremendous. Going through the squeaky door, they were trying to stay set up for this A play, and instead the bomb's now down on the dirt, and Snacks is left wandering to try and find some sort of an inroad. What a series of kills there for Shock. Everything disrupted here for the GamerLegion, but as Snacks gains some altitude back in towards heaven, he's being anticipated, he's being watched for, and Strassen is not able to get the kill. Now you're in danger on the A site. Now Snacks is just such a nuisance, you gotta deal with him.
Oh man!
You can't at all! Snacks snaps around and falls to B-Stick. There's no health on these two players, but there's two of them, and the bomb is planted. And Snacks lords over this site, op newly in hand. Towards the blue box.
No way.
Finger on the trigger. 4 stacked up for Snacks as the captain of the squad does it himself.
There we go. Massive out of Snacks right there, looking pretty on the rifle. And as you said, just finding the one vulnerability in the defense in that 5v3 through Evan, just sneaking his way through, drawing out attention here from everyone on Sinners. How can you not look towards Heaven when they're pressuring in towards the site? And another round there that starts off wonderfully. Shock 2 through the smoke as they try and surface on that A play. You feel like it's so hard to go wrong in that situation, but Snacks provides the leverage necessary. Timeout called. Chance for B-Fool once again to get involved. But these sort of critical
What a snap around.
mishaps, they're going to really punish. And as you said,
Finger to the sky on that one. Just a little cracks a smile. He knows what he just did. A little divine intervention there, perhaps.
he was playing in heaven.
It was in heaven. Oh, man. Writes itself. Flashbang somehow sees Shock through. Nobody can see anything, so everybody is on the same playing field. And this one has been dismantled. I don't think there's any miracles that can get GamerLegion through this round.
No, I can't believe how well that went there with how good the utility was. But as you said, both teams blinded up, and as they gained vision, it just ends up being the case that Sinner's in a much better position. That is a much needed round right there from the side of Sinners. The stress definitely setting in.
It's right in the forehead, man.
Is it cold in Atlanta right now?
What I will tell you is, having had those hand warmers myself, they're quite nice if you don't turn them on and it's too hot. They're quite cooling as well. So they kind of double function. Hand warmers, forehead coolers, perhaps.
Okay.
Excellent fidget toy as well, which I think is probably what we're actually seeing happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Warmleys.
Just gotta breathe easy here, and after that last round, finally a foundation set underneath them. A pathway through this CT side could very well be paved in a round like this. We'll see if Shocks can provide it here. A lot of damage exchanged back and forth, about even. But the reposition crucial, and Kisarek is already able to help out his teammate. Shock eventually going to go down. Kisarek is stuck on the railing. Eventually able to mount up here, but the molly misses as well. This is not looking promising for Kisarek. Fortunately, no one just yet in a position to shut them down. And B-Stick in a phenomenal spot to deny access here. Finally, Kisarek falls, but Snacks a known quantity here. And the bomb on the floor.
A vent.
A vent. Oh, get back on that. There you go. And we'll close it out of these. There are no questions asked for Sinners. Able to keep things contained, and again, good rotations coming through there crucially. Kisarek being on the scene to help out Shock, and B-Stick following in the footsteps of that secret play.
I think there may be very fortunate that Kisarek didn't get punished while he was fumbling around on top of the cooling tower there. But they'll take it. They'll take it. Don't worry, Kisarek. No one saw that. Your secret is safe with us. Be all good.
And Snacks going to provide.
Opener here makes things all good indeed for GamerLegion. It Snacks back to his wily ways as he's starting to have a very strong map of play. But Rez over the top can't quite find the headshot he's looking for. And now the answers come back for Sinners.
Moto also having a good feeling here, some good instincts on where he needs to be, and he's able to shut down that threat towards the outer yard. Gonna lead them through a one-way street in towards the ramp room, and that's the right route here for GamerLegion. No resistance. Gonna enter in down the ramp here in towards that lower bomb site where you only have one player tucked in towards a very committed angle. Will he be anticipated here? Oh, he's spotted. So it could be bad news for Kisarek. Instead, he's handing out damage, but the molly is going to flush him out into the open. There is no relief, and he's going to get caught there. Now the numbers evened up. But the question is, how do you plant the bomb? Well, there's an answer. Towson just levels Shock out. And the numbers can be punched in. Again, Sinners with a man advantage here, but it's slipping out of grasp.
Moto, what do you got for us? On the rifle here. So focused on this, not paying any attention to PR in the vents. I mean, it's all false to Stress Iron who could do no more. A couple players blindsided, and GamerLegion continuing to stack up what has become a very impressive T side. But if we've learned anything from this series so far, it's that you can't trust a half, Cole. You cannot trust a half.
Even heading into the CT side of Nuke?
Even heading in.
Wow.
I'll believe it when I see it.
That's so fair.
Having trust issues, man.
That is very valid. Nothing could have been confirmed, and when a 2-10 scoreline becomes a competitive game there, just feels like both these teams putting a lot of pressure on closing out this game and running into a bit of a wall here, but again, a strong T side heading into your CT side of Nuke is the exact position you want to be in. GamerLegion want to give themselves even more of a foundation, call a timeout. Snack's very vocal. Now you wonder what they have game planned up for this round.
3, back to it. 7, 3-7. Radioactive 3-7 at the bottom. Here we go.
Oh, there was both?
Yeah.
I didn't see the 3. Wow.
3 in Roman numerals. Or not Roman. Yes. No. Tally marks? Roman numerals? I don't know, man.
So it's pretty similar when it's 3.
There we go. There we go.
Flashes in towards ramp here. Kisarek he's just gonna find himself a connection on a PR. Spamming while blind. We'll do the trick. But there's that Snacks alert coming through into fruition. They got the whole team rotating down lower, and this is a good instant reaction to come through here from GamerLegion. They call the reroute. Snacks calling over that there's a lot of presence rotating down lower, and the A side is open. Snacks is vulnerable to a flank.
It's crazy the amount of space that they're going to have for this. A smoke thrown from Starstone just to try and give them the space, but I think Sinners realize the gravity of the situation, which is that they are on the wrong side of this site looking in. Ability to block it off. A kill would be lovely here, but they can also just pelt one of these positions with HEs, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Oh,
That's a nice pluck, though, from Moto. Anticipating a response, tries to back away, but Snacks is already being proactive here, dancing around the smoke and Mini. Making sure they can't do anything about it. Time's starting to become a serious issue here. Desperation, try and dive over the lip. And that's Moto, who's just got to get the heck out of Dodge and try and clean this up alive, which Snacks will deny.
I mean, that's just the factor that Snacks is bringing to the table right now. I mean, you highlighted some of the performance that he was bringing in Fort Worth, but when he thrives here, I think the calling is going to get better as well. Simplify the answer by hearing those rotates. When he finds that opening pick, he gets everyone on Sinners shifting down towards that lower bomb site, and Snacks is the one that's hearing it. So that pack that he's kind of manipulating throughout the map there, going to instantly react to that information that Snacks is providing and go into a very open bomb site there. Tap out on the last kill, and what's forced into another force buy out of this CT side, their only option is to end this half how they started, and Kisarek wants to avoid any conflict on ramp, but he's going to take damage in the fadeaway. And of course, Rez going to go back and check the flank. Beastic thinking there was a big opportunity right there. Instead, all of that information immediately goes blind. More headshots there from Rez. just punishing all the aggression right now.
Feels like this half is ending on a little bit of a whimper, huh? It's a shame. Sinners have fought so well through this series, but now it's just a dire situation, Cole. They're headed into the T side of Nuke with what looks to be 3 rounds to their name. I'm not saying this round is done, but I'm saying if you showed me this mini-map, I'd say this round is done.
I'm right there with you here. There's no big opportunities. You do have a rifle downrange here. HG underhanded and a chance for Moto. He will capitalize on one frag, but one might not be enough there. Snacks gonna make sure of it. And Kisarek all on an island here in the ramp room.
Okay.
Gonna add to his tally.
Extension.
He's trying to pull a Snacks right there. Player on the edges of the smoke.
I'm going to paint a world where Kisarek gets back into this, but there is no such world because it's 9 rounds to the good for GamerLegion. 9-3 our scoreline as GamerLegion look to close this series when we come back. dire situations here for Sinners as they are praying that there's a little redemption for the Sinners of this particular map. GamerLegion have been allowing them no such quarter, Snacks including. A crazy play out of the heaven here, Cole, to deny them even that little bit of opportunity.
Yeah, there's no question here. He's come to play in map 3, leading his team so far. with a phenomenal T-half, both in the calling and the fragging as well to back it up. Looking to keep up in the second half here. We've seen a lot of collapses in the second half. We'll see if that comes true, but this time Towson again looking to end things early. Rez eliminated in the ramp room though. And it's going to pave a path here towards the B bomb site. A chance to try and get the numbers punched in if they can get past Hypex, and that is a good way to do so.
Ooh, down, taken away. There's a little something to work with here. Snacks gets away with nothing there. Stress there and doing damage. Look at the health now. At this point, body shots, toe shots are going to be enough out of these Glocks. And Shock's dualies certainly will be. Time is the issue. Here on Hypex trying to chase down this kill, but they've been given the slip. Strasser just left. Slid away on out of this, playing the angle together, trying to work with the numbers, and it works to perfection. Nicely done there from the Sinners. If this road to a comeback was gonna happen, this is how it would start.
It's gotta feel good right there. It starts out a 5v3 there. Towson finds 2 kills without taking a point of damage. That's the tone setter, and it felt like that was gonna be maybe a quick into this map, but Stress aren't able to pull it back immediately through the ramp room and afterwards all the way in towards that B bomb site. Forced by in for GamerLegion. And a lot of Mac 10s for Sinners. Trying to get the utility out as a much higher priority for whatever they've got intended. Looking like they want to enter in towards this A side, and that is just not a bad call right now. That is exactly where they should be going. As GamerLegion have kind of gambled much more on this being a lower play, maybe outer yard control. But anything but here heading in for the side of Sinners.
Bear burst Molly, but it's not going to matter. I
really hate that ladder.
Find out. Everyone does, man.
I feel
like
like
it has a magnet in it. It's like a vacuum.
Yeah,
it sucks up
yeah, it sucks up all the mollies, man. I don't remember that happening as much on Go either. That feels like a mostly CS2 thing.
Ain't nothing but a CS2 thing.
You gotta really place that molly kind of a little bit deeper, I would say. Not gonna matter in this round, fortunately, but it is one of those things that I maybe I'm just misremembering, but I don't remember that in Go as much as it is on CS2.
So they're going A. That's what I got from that.
Yeah. Run it back. Worked so well the last time. Why not do it again?
Seems like a move. See, that's what they're rocking. Send up the smoke side here. Yeah, okay, so this is what they're talking about. And they're going A. E6 speaks, and I listen. And Shock definitely listens and locks in. First kill found, Snacks out of play. Rez jumped around the corner of Palm, but Towson making the MP7 sing for him. Though he will go silent. Falls just to PR, who's down the vents. Strassler waiting for this one. Sorry, Kissarak waiting for this one. The other guy with a long name through the X-ray. And it will be a nice go A round for Sinners. Well called.
Well, it worked so well the last time. Why not do it again? This time, though, there's going to be a purchase.
They're just making me want to be quiet on these player cams so I can listen and get a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
Coming up next round.
Heard some nice little details in the timeouts as well. I didn't know that was a thing. You can kind of get a little peek-see.
Little peek sneak.
Into
little
the
peek sneak,
what they're
little
going
nadage. Ooh, that's chunky. But look at this. They're chasing up in towards the garage. They're trying to run this man down. Snacks splits the difference of the two. Doesn't get what he's looking for at all. Instead, now they've got full control of the outer yard. And this is a bad spot to be in. That gets even worse for GamerLegion. Towson gone. Rez can at least correct that error. But there's still a man down. And PR is desperately trying to figure out where they've gotten to. He's done that, but I don't know if he realizes a player's above him. He's considering the possibility.
I mean, if they can make it that far, they can definitely make it into heaven without that vision. So I think a decent reroute here for PR to avoid going up the ladder. But yeah, you're just going to control lobby and largely give over a plant opportunity here.
It's a huge gamble as well, because if, and there's no knowledge about this, I think it's Hypex spotting in towards Secret if they had gotten down Secret already. Very little you could do about the B site. Hypex does have the vision though, so he's confident about it. Now Moto starts to make the move. Let's see if Hypex punishes him. Smoke to cover it off. It is going to be the A play. Hypex wants to play ahead of this. This is a risk for sure. So he has to fade away. Puts Rez on an island, and it's not an island he can survive. Bomb planted down. We see the damage that's been done here. We know these players are vulnerable without damaging utility to try and capitalize on some of these kills. This is not the most appetizing retake, and Hypex decides that he wants nothing to do with it. They're backing out. GamerLegion are giving this one up. That means the gap closes to 2 here, Cole. We got a game.
Oh, man. And there's a little bit more room for error. We talked about that big problem that was being faced by Sinners. It just took a little spark to ignite the rest of GamerLegion on Inferno to close out that map. But you hop into this first gun round and Sinners take over. They hunt and pluck out Snacks from the server early. They take that space in towards the heavens as well. And you've got Shock, who's lurking about here in towards the lobby side, punishing that re-aggression there. Well situated round. And Sinners have every reason to be happy about it. The save leads to another gun round here. 2 rifles held onto, including a Hypex op. So they're still going to have some firepower here.
Looked like they maybe wanted to hit that faster upper play again.
They are.
Here they go. Here comes the motion. A little bit of util stalled them out, but they're still going to risk it. Raz holds strong.
Oh, man.
Eventually he'll falter, but it leaves it just to Moto to try and clutch, and a player's gotten out heaven. PR. Make sure this works. You could try the same idea a few different times, but eventually GamerLegion find the solution.
Trying to keep that up-tempo approach here on the side of Sinners, and this time gets punished. There was so much resistance on that A-bomb site at the start of the round. So when you even trade things out, take those opening advantages here, you realize that you're playing up against a whole host of defenders. So many players to deal with, and one multi-frag the difference. So there's that spark for GamerLegion that they needed. And it comes to the hands of just about everyone on the defense here. Now Snacks getting up close and personal towards that out of yard. And he's overlooked for now. Does get traded out, but a lot of damage on his way out of the round.
I love that, though. It just puts them on so much notice, right? You're trying to go for the killing blow here. You got 1.5 kills, and you slow them down outside. Stresser still, though, he's not going to be that slowed.
Wonder if
Get some control
footsteps were heard in mini from Rez. If that's the case, then, I mean, you'd probably see a bigger rotate coming through, but instead, no one really in any intention of repositioning all that much, except for one little detail of Hypex joining up on the ramp defense. Now it becomes a waiting game for Sinners, hoping to get re-aggression. And these sort of 4v4s, it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. You think there's gaps in the defense, and yeah, there is going to be a hint of re-aggression. That's going to come at the hands of Rez through the secret side and right into the crosshairs of Stress Arm, but he's not fully prepared here, and Rez able to walk away the victor of that exchange.
Fine now. B-Stick tries to go through and towards Mini. It does mean the presence up top is a little lighter, but with Hypex providing oversight, makes it a lot more appealing. They want to drop down on Rez, but Rez is here. He's ready. He's waiting, and now that bomb is in his waiting arms. And B-Stick sees that 11 slips onto the scoreboard for GamerLegion. That one all Rez.
It's all about discipline from Rez as well. He finds that kill in towards Secret. He doesn't rush around the corner and try and find what's the deal with the outer yard. He repositions right back down the vents. Yeah, I mean, you find this kill, you don't even poke your head around the corner. That is absurd, and you're definitely going to be walking in a little bit surprised that he's already in the vents ready to catch you. If you're Sinners, I mean, that's just smart thinking from Rez.
Huge rotation. Great awareness. Now it's Tech9s to try and keep their opponents off a series point. And again, for Sinners, a team that is going to be up against it in terms of the mismatches with their opponents. In so many of these rounds, they have had some serious fight. And if we think all the way back to Mirage, it was the Ecos, right? That was where the magic for the Sinners came through. Let's see if they can do it again. Tech9 kills galore. They're working as a pack. They're battling. They're brawling. It's down to the 1v2, and Modo runs out of magic.
I mean, all 5 players once again able to get involved on the defense there, except for, I would say, Snacks, who got taken care of early. But that's 4 players instantly on A. They just rotate so quick. PR is always where he needs to be in some of these defensive rounds, so that just gives him no good option. It feels like if you're Sinners, you're playing up against an extra man at that point. It's all about the repositions here from GamerLegion. They got their finger on the pulse. And for Sinners, it might be a case of running out of gas here, running out of steam, but Shock, full steam ahead there. Kicks it into second gear, and Towson at least able to trade things out, but the B side is going to be fully claimed here by the T side here soon.
You're talking about finding gas. I think you might have just found the nitrous. This is such a fast round. Shock doesn't want to slow down either. Keeping the pressure up on towards Rez, who stuck his toe in the flames to confirm that there was a player here. Might catch a nade for this Shock, but the bomb's down. GamerLegion, what kind of appetite do they have for this retake? Because there's a world where they say, we've got the lead, we've got the advantage, we need to save these guns, and that's a world Rez is living in.
Yeah, it's a smart decision. Kasarek gonna find himself a reward, though. Gets off the Tech9 onto an AK, that's nice. But the big gun here in the AWP gonna be able to be brought into the next round, and I think that's the most crucial.
Sinners getting back to their DNA, though, here, Cole. Just maximum speed, maximum momentum, violence coming in towards the site, and Shock not letting go of that W key.
Yeah, double entry right there, so nice. Sinners, again, it felt like they were banking it all, just pushing their chips, and they definitely were with a ramp rush. And GamerLegion had the pieces to try and deny that. They had 2 players starting in towards ramp early, taking the duel head on. And Shock just walks away with a double. I'm not hearing anything this time around.
Coming through from the coaches right now. IMD trying to find one silver bullet to put this game to bed. A lot of B-stick talking in the timeout we can see for the comms on the other side. More than B-full, so we'll see what they're drawing up this time. We know he's like these faster rounds, these A hits. What are you expecting here, Cole?
See what they have in order here. I think if you're GamerLegion, you're going to be throwing in a lot more early utility to try and deny some of those aggressive plays that Sinners have been coming through with. So anticipate that.
Outside this time. Making the move. Who's here to receive them? It's Snacks. Working around with that rifle. Trying to play the edges of these smokes. See if anyone tries to slip through. See if he can punish them. They've got 4 smokes committed outside. They've dumped every smoke that they had available.
Oh my god.
Get this cross in towards Secret. They're making absolutely damn sure they're not getting nade popped. They're not getting a walkthrough. You try and walk through that smoke. Oops, another smoke. Congratulations. And so now Rez playing around his own, trying to bring in PR for support. PR here. At the right moment, at the right time.
Great rotation.
With the guns. Spot on the first. There's the dive round. PR, it's a 1-2 punch. You look this way. Well, PR punches the other. And Rez, perfectly happy to have a shooting gallery, though eventually that'll cost him his life. Still, numbers advantage. PR towards lower. Hypex sticking around at ramp to make sure there's no late lurk, but eventually he's going to come down to support, and as Shock tries to wander in towards Garage, I doubt he expects Snacks to still be waiting here, and indeed, now it falls to just 2. They've got the util though, Cole. They've got something to work with, but the op is trained on their position as that door opens. The flashbang's so good, Hypex barely gets away. But it's enough. The shot lands, PR closes, and GamerLegion, despite a battle down this series, secure the victory here against the Sinners. Sinners have shown themselves well, Cole, but it just wasn't enough to take down the Legion.
Yeah, they got fight here. They got spirit, but not enough, as you said there. They